it should amaze you. You should be astonished by the things that you see. When you wake up in the morning, that's a miracle. When you can see, breathe, think. There's a lot of people that still land in the bed that can't even get up out of bed that want to. That's a blessing within itself just to come and be amongst family, assemble, love one another, who have the same mind, like-minded. A lot of people don't make it, y'all. So every chance you get, even if you don't be here, four walls don't dictate what's inside of you. It don't dictate the ruach that's inside of you. We love everybody. Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah. Come on! Hey!
Where's our ushers? I said we was having ushers this week. Excuse me, we supposed to have ushers this week. Where my white glove crew at? What happened? Hey, Claude, give me a check on that one. Not that one next to you, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you over check 1-2-1-2-1-2.
Yeah.
You said get your
plug on the floor.
Hey, we need our ushers. We need. Next week we have ushers. We done went and bought white gloves for nothing. Mama, you supposed to be sitting on the front row. You know how that go. You on the mother board, you got to be in the front row. In the house board. Maya, can we get some Maya to the front? Maya. Y'all gonna learn Hebrew. 12:30. Every Shabbat. Maya. Somebody lost some keys with a blue fur ball on it. Appreciate you. Well, me? Why you
doing my Bible reading?
What do you mean,
Study.
Study this.
Study the pages.
This first page so hard.
Study the pages of
Hey,
it.
that's the law. First couple pages in the scriptures is the law. All right, y'all. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Y'all sound very happy to be here. My voice is gone, and y'all sounded exactly like me. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. That was a little bit better. How many of y'all still still moving off of Quab's lesson last week? How many of y'all been really thinking on what was brought forth last week? Yeah. What y'all get from it? What y'all get from it?
Yo, man, that means
It was a little harsh. Ain't no harsh. We would definitely put people out. That was the talk to. You know what? If there's an individual that feels as though that they're being put out for the wrong reason, we'll have a council about it. But I guarantee you that if you go, it's because you really deserve to go. We've never been the type to be like, you know what? You gotta go. Here's the boot. So, you know, it has to be some offenses, you know what I'm saying? Diamond. Is that bag in here? Is that bag in here? That bag we was talking about? Can I get that tea? All right, y'all. So what we get from last week? One, we got it was harsh. What else? On point. What else? It was needed. It was thorough. What else?
It was edifying for our young people.
Edifying.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Thank you, sweetie. All right. So this is kind of going to move us into that direction, right? Like a piggyback, right? A lot of times when you give correction or when you let people know the error of their way, what's some of the first things they do? They get defensive. They leave. What else?
Look at what you do.
They try to point out what you're doing. What else? Talk about you. Yeah. Sometimes they change for the good. But more times than not, they get defensive.
They tell you you're a trip.
Yeah, they tell you you're a trip. You're a trip. No, I'm a whole vacation. Right? They tell you you're a trip. And the reason why they tell you that or they get defensive is because when you tell them this certain thing, it's usually because it's true. Or it pricked them in a certain type of way that it caused that type of response. See, if it's not true when somebody try to tell you about yourself, you can laugh it off. You are sadly misinformed. Let me show you why. You know what I'm saying? But when you are actually in the offense, your defense mechanisms jump up. It's like, hold on, why would you? That's that jab. You said that what? That negativity. Being so negative. Right? But the problem with that is, if you never get to the point where you straighten out your way, you'll get to the point where it's okay to do what you're doing. The next time they come to you, it's like, oh, whatever. Because I'm comfortable in what I'm doing now. It ain't too much you can tell me to get me. I mean, I know, whatever. But ain't too much you can tell me to get me out of what I'm doing. Because I'm convinced that this is okay. Or here's a loophole. What about this? What about that? Right? But the law of the Most High is what? It's perfect. Ain't no loopholes. See, the good thing about reading the scriptures is you understand the character of the Most High. Right? So you'll understand, see, this is a loophole. Nah, he wouldn't let me get away with that. But we gonna see. Right? Ezekiel 33 and 30. The title of this lesson is called Keep Your Sin. Keep your sin. If somebody tell you to keep something, what that mean?
They don't want it.
Not they don't want it, but what? Usually when they say keep it, it's because you can have it. Right? It's yours, no? You can have it. Now, if you're thinking about keep your sin and you can have it, who would normally say something like this to you? Who can say keep your sin? Somebody that's what? That can do what?
Forgive.
Somebody that can forgive you for them. Somebody that can take them away. So if you ever hear keep your sin, or if there's ever a thought keep your sin, you're in trouble. Because that means it's coming down from the person who can actually take them away. Ezekiel 33:30. Quad went over this last week, so I just decided that we needed to start it with it. Or start with it. Started with it. What up?
Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 30. Also, you, son of man, the children of your people still are talking against you by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from Yahuwah.
Come, hear the word that's coming forth for the Most High. That's what we here for, right? Well, that's what we say we here for. Come to hear the word, yeah? Read.
And they come unto you as the people come, and they sit before you as the people, and they hear the words, but they will not do them.
You hear the word and don't do it. How many of y'all done heard a lesson go forth, and then when she was getting ready to do something wrong, it popped up in your mind, and then you was like, yeah, but See, but I don't agree with that, so I'm right? I don't agree with it, so I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, no. He was wrong on that one. So I'm gonna do it anyway. How many of y'all been in that position? Well, you ain't gotta say that. You ain't gotta put stuff on blast. Right? No, read.
But will not do them, for with their mouth they shew much love.
But with their mouth they show much love to the Most High, in public and in secret. Oh, Father, I love you so much. Thank you. Father, if you just get me up out of this, I'll never do it again. Oh, thank you. How many of us been in that position? And how many of us been the person that went right back into it, Father, okay, just if you get me out of it this time. Right? All right, go ahead.
But with their heart goeth after their covetousness, and lo, you are unto them as a very lovely song.
So this word coming forth, it's like a lovely song. Read.
Of one that have a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not.
You listening? Oh yeah, deliver me. All I ever do is hurt me. Right? How good that sound to you? Then the part that say, this is my exodus, which means what? This is my deliverance. And then you turn right back around and have to sing it again. That makes sense to y'all? After your exodus, now you got to turn around and say, deliver me all over again. What's the point of that? Because the person that came to free you how many times? Look, I don't want to have to keep going into the lion's den to come get you up. Right? What verse you in?
33.
That was it?
And when this come to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them.
All right, Deuteronomy chapter 30. So when the word comes to you, you got an opportunity. You have an opportunity to change. You have an opportunity to stay the same. But you have opportunity. What's opportunity? Chance. You have a chance, right? As long as you hear this word, you have a chance. So you think. Deuteronomy 30, pick it up in verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 15. See, I have set before you this day life and good, death and evil, and that I command thee, you this day, to love Yahuwah your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments.
He put before you life and good, death and evil. We already know this stuff. I just had to bring it up just so you can put it into perspective. He put it before you for a reason, to give you a choice. You're not presented with any other choice than any other man has ever gotten in his life. Adam was presented with a choice. You got the good trees, you got the one you ain't supposed to touch. You got listening to your wife, or you got listening to your who. You got choices, opportunity, chance. You choose, right? Pick it up at verse 19.
Verse 19, I cause Shamayim and the earth to record this day against you.
A lot of people worry about whether Trav, Quab, or B see me. Am I lying? People worry about whether we see you or my mama don't see what I'm doing, my daddy don't see what I'm doing. The teachers don't know what's going on. You worry about that, but what did he just say?
I cause Shamayim and the earth to record this day against you.
But he got something watching you all the time. Can you escape from the heaven and the earth? You in between it. One looking down, the other one looking up. Your footsteps is recorded. Your actions are recorded. Your words are recorded. Everything. So it don't matter if we see you. This is only 6 eyes up here. 3 pair. That's it. We only around each other so much. So it's not about what we can see. It's not about what I can identify and say, look at what you're doing. It's about him. He already gave something that's going to be able to give account to you in judgment. But that's integrity though, right? What's integrity? What? BJ, where you at? What's integrity? Doing the right thing when nobody watching. That's integrity, right? But a lot of us don't have integrity. We like men pleasers. I'm going to do what's right when I'm here, but when I'm not here, I'm going to wild out. It's a consequence for that. Listen. Verse 19 again.
I cause Shamaim and the earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life.
What did he tell you?
Therefore choose life.
He told you to what?
Choose life.
Choose life, read.
That both you and your seed may live.
So this ain't just about you. When he tell you to choose life, it's for you and who else?
Your seed.
And your seeds. So your wrongdoing is not just your wrongdoing. Your wrongdoing gets passed down to, you know why? It's in DNA, right? Like you ever seen your child do something that you used to do when you was a kid? You're like, man, they're just like me. I didn't teach them that. I didn't, right? Or when your son come up, you like, man, I hope he don't be out here doing women like that. You ain't teach him to do it, but guess what? It was a part of you. Right? That seed that goes into that woman is a development of you. Right? So this ain't just about you doing right or wrong. This is about your children under you. They see you too. They'll probably be able to run down your sins better than anybody in here. Right? Mama, why you be acting like that when you ain't in class? But you said we can go to the club. Right? Make sense? That was the end of that verse?
Yep.
Jump back up to verse 17.
Verse 17. But if your heart turn away.
But if what?
But if your heart turn away.
If your body turn away.
Your heart turn away.
If your heart turn away, then what? Then what?
So that you will not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other Elohims and serve them.
So if your heart turn away and you go and serve other gods, do that mean there got to be a statue? Do it got to mean there got to be Amun Ra? It could be you. Read.
But if your heart turn away, so that you will not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other Elohims and serve them, I denounce unto you.
What?
I denounce unto you this day.
He said, I denounce you. If you turn away, if you turn your heart away, I'm going to denounce you. That is major, talking about the one who rules over all. Oh, my father disowned me. The money, I don't get no money, he cut me off. That's one thing. But the one who can cut off circulation in your lungs telling you I denounce you, that inheritance can't be matched. Read.
I denounce unto you this day that you shall surely perish, that you shall not prolong your days upon the land, whether thou possessest over Jordan to go to possess it.
So we got to understand, he said, you're going to surely die. If I denounce you, there's nothing else. Because he already said it. His word don't return unto him void. So if he denounces you, there is no coming back because he already said it. That makes sense? He can't say, well, I know I denounced you yesterday, but you was doing good today. Mm-hmm. No, if he denounced you, it's it. It's a wrap. Right? So we want to do everything in our power to stay out of that, yeah? Proverbs 8:35. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 35.
Proverbs 8:35. For whoso findeth me findeth life.
If you find him, you find what?
Life.
Remember, he told you, choose what?
Life.
So he telling you to choose who? Him. It's a simple choice. I promise you it is. If somebody sat before you and say, here's poverty and here's wealth, which one you want? No strings attached. How easy is that choice? There is no strings attached to him saying, choose me. It's just doing it. But we treat it as if I'm losing out on life if I choose him. I can't do what my desire is if I choose him. So you stay in the middle and I'm going to jump over here real quick. Then I'm going to jump back. I'm going to jump over here real quick. Jump back. And we assume that he going to keep taking us. We have this mentality, I was talking about with the brothers earlier, we got this mentality that he gotta forgive me. He gotta forgive me. It's the Most High. I love him. He gotta forgive me. Thank you. Can I ask y'all a question? When he say, if I denounce you, you shall surely die, right? Or surely perish. If he denounce you today and the Day of Atonement come up, do you get back in his good graces? What? No dependent. If he denounce you, that means you don't have access to that repentance. The feast days and atonement is a gift. So if I denounce you, you don't have access to the gift. That makes sense? This is a gift. So if he say, I denounce you, you shall surely die. If he go back on his word, then what would that make him? A liar. It said, Yahuwah not a man that he should what? See, it's a difference between being wicked and being a sinner. The sinner can come back. But if you wicked, it's a difference. Right? What you at?
35.
Go ahead.
For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of Yahuwah. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul.
If you sin against him, you wronging your own soul. How do you sin against the Most High? Which sin is sinning against the Most High? Which ones can y'all name off? Raise your hand. Which sin you like for sure this is against the Most High? It ain't no specific ones. Sin is sin. If you sin, you sinned against the Most High. When David went and committed adultery and he apologized, what did he say? He said, I have sinned against who?
You.
You and you
only.
Only. Why? Because who gave the law? It ain't about Quab or Trav or B telling y'all this, and this. Don't got nothing to do with us. We just messengers. So if you do something wrong, don't say, well, I know they said, but it don't got nothing to do with us. It's Yah. Look past us. We mean nothing. Right? So he says, if you sin against him, you sin against your own soul. So let's see something. Go to Luke chapter 13, pick it up at verse 22. Remember, the title of this is called Keep Your Sin. Luke 13:22. Let's walk through something.
Luke chapter 13, verse 22. You got it? Luke chapter 13, verse 22. And he went through the cities and villages, teaching and journeying toward Jerusalem.
Who is this? You talking about? She out. Go ahead.
Then said one unto him, Master, are there few that be saved? And he said unto them,
What was the question?
Then said he one unto him, Master, are there few to be saved?
Is it only going to be a few that's going to be saved? What would you want to hear as an answer?
A whole bunch of
No,
people.
it's going to be a bunch. You know what I'm saying? You want to hear that. But what did he say?
Verse 24. Strive to enter in at the straight gate, for many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able.
Many gonna try to get in, but they ain't gonna be able to do it. That was his answer. Many gonna try to get in, but they ain't gonna be able to. Read.
When once the master of the house is risen up and have shut to the door.
And he did what?
Shut to the door.
And he come and he closed the door. See, it's when you got the door wide open to a place that you take advantage of, you'll walk in. Oh, they ain't started yet. And you leave out. You come back in. Oh, no, they ain't got going yet. And you leave back out. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? If you're supposed to be there, what are you waiting on to get in there and stay in there? You waiting on them to start, right? It's too late then. If you're on time, you're what? If we start at 3 and you get here at 3, you're late. Make sense? If you're early, then you what? I seen that on Drumline, and I didn't know what he was talking about until I figured it out. Right? So he says, now when he get up and he go and close the door, read.
When once the master of the house is risen up and have shut to the door, and ye begin to stand outside and to knock at the door, saying, Master, Master, open to us.
Hey, now. Hey. Open the door. Because now you know. That door get locked. Now you know. I'm about to be in trouble. I remember being in school. If you got to the door when it was closed, you was getting rolled up. Trying to open the door. But I'm here. No, you're too late. Read.
Saying, Master, Master, open to us. And he shall answer and say unto you, I know you not.
I don't know you.
Whence are you?
Where you coming from? I don't know you. Read.
And they shall begin to say, We have eaten and drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets.
We came and we was eating with you before. You don't remember when we shared that?
What we have.
You remember they cooked that lasagna and we all was in there eating?
What you
What do you say?
Then shall ye begin to say, We have eaten and drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets. But he shall say, I tell you, I know you not.
I'm telling you, I don't know you.
I don't even like lasagna.
You wasn't memorable to me. Huh? Read.
Where did you come from? Depart from me, and all you workers of iniquity.
Get out of here, and all you workers of iniquity. That's where you're going to be at. Get out of here. I don't want you in here. Because you wasn't here when I had the door open. You came when it was closed. Because we like cutting stuff close. Right? Read.
Then there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, when ye shall see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of Elohim, and ye yourselves thrust out. And they shall come from the east and from the west and from the north and from the south, and shall sit down in the kingdom of Elohim. And behold, there are the last which shall be first, and there are the first which shall be last.
So we got to understand, you can be on the outside of the doors. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all them up there chilling, kicking it. We made it. And you on the outside, wondering what's about to happen to me next, because I'm not there. Right?
I'm about to meet Moses, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
He in there.
Because they made it there. But then you'll think to yourself, well, he'll just not let me in? I'm a good person. I'm a good person. Don't the book say he's supposed to be long-suffering? Don't it? Don't it say that? So ain't that your expectation? For him to be long suffering? Well, let's see about that. Pick it up at Exodus 16:28. Matter of fact, hold on. Before you get Exodus 16:28, go to Psalms 86. Psalms 86:15. Because is the Most High long suffering? But how long should he suffer?
Was that song what?
86:15.
86.
Psalms 86:15.
Psalms 86:15. Psalms chapter 86 and verse 15. But you, O Master, are the Elohim, full of compassion.
You said you full of what?
Compassion.
He full of compassion. What else?
And gracious.
And who?
And gracious.
He gracious. Read.
Long suffering.
And you long suffering. Go ahead.
And plenteous in mercy and truth.
He's plenty in mercy and in truth. Meaning he got abundance of it to get out. Right? Abundance of mercy. Abundance of long suffering. Right? Read.
O turn unto me and have mercy upon me.
Now turn to me and have mercy on me. Because I know you merciful. Right? 2 Peter 3:9. We know that he long suffering. But it's another side to that. It's only so much that I'm going to tell my son, all right, I'm going to get you. All right, I'm going to get you. All right, I'm going to get you until I get him. 2 Peter 3:9.
2 Peter chapter 3:9. The master is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness.
Yeah.
But is long suffering.
But he is what?
Long suffering.
He long suffering. He gonna bring his promise like he said, but he long suffering. Everybody want the kingdom to come right now. I wish it happened right now. And guess where you probably would end up?
Outside.
On the outside of the door. Because you ain't ready. The fact that you just said, I can't wait for him to come, shows that you ain't ready. Read.
To us were not willing that any should perish.
He not willing that what?
Any should perish.
He don't want nobody to die. Y'all understand what we going through as far as this foundation? He don't want nobody to die. He's long suffering. But there's another side to this. Read.
But that all should come to repentance.
Everybody. He want everybody to repent. What does it mean to repent? Turn away. So if you one way, some people be like, man, I did a whole 360. Oh, you ain't going nowhere.
Right back the same way.
You ain't.
Try the 180.
Man, I'm telling you, bro, I did a whole 360. Yep, you going back to jail. Yep. Because you ain't did nothing. But moved around. You got to do that 180. Half. I turned away from it. Now I turned a little bit. And now I went back, and then I turned a little bit more. Now I went back. Now I don't work like that. Right? Read.
But the day of the master will come as a thief in the night, in the which the Shamaim shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Yeah.
The earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
It's a day that's going to come. And this stuff going to transpire. Which side of the door you going to be on? Do you think about Noah? When everybody making fun of the man the whole time he building this big old boat, and then that door closed. You don't think people was running to that boat and knocking up? That raindrop started coming. Man, what the? Hey, Noah. Hey, Hey, what's this coming out the sky? Right? You don't think people was banging on that door trying to get in? But the door that the Most High closed, what did it say? No man can open.
Because who closed that door for Noah?
Because he closed it. Right? Even if you don't think a man, just me and you, a man, a regular man, they hear a woman with a child on the outside of the door. Please let us in. We don't want to die. You would have been, I'm just going to let this one in. You know what I'm saying? So he had to close it because it don't matter what you can do now. Remember what he says in Revelation where he said he got to cheer up his bride. Right? Why? Why he got to wipe her tears away? Because your family members is going to perish in that. And that destruction to come. Some parents, some siblings. If they not right. So his bride that he got to cheer her up. He got to wipe her tears away because you just went through some hurt. My auntie not here. That's my favorite auntie. Oh, that's heartbreaking to deal with. But it's going to happen to anybody who don't get on the mission. Make it into that door. Or keep your sin. Right? What verse I got you at?
We have verse 11.
Go ahead.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in the Kodesh conversation and goodliness?
All right, hold that. So remember, he said he long suffering. Go to Exodus chapter 16, verse 28. So we see he long suffering. He long suffering. He long suffering. Just like what Carl was talking about last week with this whole fornication thing. How many years of your life have you fornicated?
I said,
Shoot, you know when I came out the womb, you know, doctor slapped me. I was like, boy, said since Jump Street. All right? But how many years have you had where you fornicated? You know what I'm saying? But you're here to tell about it. That's long suffering. Exodus 16:28. What happened? What did he say?
Exodus chapter 16, verse 28.
He's long suffering. Yes, everybody agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Yahuwah said unto Moses, how long?
He said what?
How long?
He said what?
How long?
Now he's saying, how long? How long what?
Refuse you to keep my commandments and my laws.
Now even though he long suffering, he's the one who's saying what? How long? Numbers 14:11. He long suffering. But there comes a point in time where he has to ask you something. Numbers 14:11.
Numbers chapter 14 and 11. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me?
He said what?
How long will this people provoke me?
I'm long suffering, but how long are y'all gonna do what you doing to me? How long? You think it's okay because you in the moment. But he ain't looking at the moment, he looking at the totality. That makes sense? How long? That's only going to cost me a prayer. No, you did this today, but you did it 15 other times. How long are you going to keep doing this to me? How long do I got to keep holding back my wrath from you? How long do I got to keep from burning you up? How long do I got to keep from taking your breath away? Because he get mad too. You get mad at your spouse, you be like, oh, I'm going to choke you up. Right? Imagine how he feel. He put them feelings in you. That boy laugh, he know you out there. Y'all sisters don't be talking about choking your husband. That's not going to end well. But how long? Right? How long? How long do we expect for him to do this stuff? Before you get your act together. Or until he gets to the point where he tell you to keep your sin. Right? Numbers 14:27. Oh, go ahead.
Verse 11. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me? For all the signs which I have shewed among them, I will smite them with the pestilence, and disinherit them, and will make of them a greater nation and mightier than they.
Make of you. Talking to Moses. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of them, and I'm going to make you a great nation. I can't take it no more. Right? Numbers 14:27.
Numbers chapter 14, verse 27. How long shall I bear with this evil congregation?
How long? This is the reason why we got to kick people out, sis. Because the more and more people that's in here and they fornicating or they doing whatever they doing that's sin, is causing the congregation to stink. Right? When Jacob's 2 sons went and smote Shechem and his people, he said, y'all caused me to stink among the people of Canaan. The actions of you two make us look bad. So the people in here that's doing wickedly, you making the congregation look bad. We ain't talking about making us look bad to that congregation across the street or to that one down the block. We talking about to the Father. So it's a reason why you got to go. It's just like somebody that come into your life and they're a hazard to your life. What they call it? They toxic.
That's that word everybody's saying now.
Toxic masculinity. It's toxic. When something is toxic, what do you have to do with it? Get rid of it expeditiously. T.I. Expeditiously. You got to get rid of it. Right? But what happens if you don't cut that part out? It just makes the rest of the body toxic. So the Most High say, Moses, look, I can't take it. I'm going to just make you a great nation. They pissing me off. Right? What verse you at?
Verse 27.
Verse 27.
How long shall I bear with this evil congregation which complain against me? I have heard their complaining of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me.
Man, why the Most High won't give me no husband? Why he won't give me no wife? Why he just won't give me a better job? Why the Most High won't do this? Why he won't do that? You ever thought about it was you? You ever thought about it was you? You ever thought that you your own setback? Because he got everything locked and loaded and ready to bless you with. It's ready. Soon as he get ready to get... Nope, they ain't ready. Joseph became king pretty much in Egypt. But he had to wait until the man was ready for him to give it to him. But if you keep being the reason you don't get it, you'll never get it. Because instead of waiting on the Most High, you want to focus on what you think you can do for you. What's going to cause you to sin and continue to sin. And continue to sin. Because he said, blessed are those that wait on him. Right? Read.
Say unto them, as truly as I live, saith the Master, Yahuwah, as ye have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness. Because
he tired of it. He said, y'all gonna die out here. It's been 40 years. I'm sick of y'all. It's been 40 years. I'm sick of you. Feel what I'm saying? And that was 40 years for them. That don't mean it's going to be 40 years for you. Read.
Your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have complained against me. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land, concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein.
Y'all ain't getting in the land. Matter of fact, jump back to verse 22.
Verse 22. Because all those men which have seen my esteem and my miracles which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, have you tempted me now these 10 times.
How many times?
10 times.
How many?
10 times.
They tempted him 10 times. And what did he say after that?
And have not listened to my voice.
And they did what?
Not listened to my voice.
Now, did they hear it? They heard it. But they ain't listening. You know how when you in a debate with your spouse, he be like, you get what I'm saying? I hear you. I hear you, but is you listening? I hear you. No, you telling me you ain't listening. Right? This same thing. Y'all ain't listening to me. And because of these 10 times, what did he say? Verse 23.
But surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them provoke me to see.
He said, to provoke me, see it, right? So it was 10 times that they provoked him. And he said, y'all ain't getting into the land, which means all of them was going to do what? Die. It took 10 times. How much wrong? Man, how many times you did him wrong? More than 10? More than 10, raise your hand. So according to what he did here, right?
But I just came into the walk though, so all them other years before I knew.
Where he say that at?
The book of fooling around me.
Your whole life you knew wrong from wrong. You knew what was right and what was wrong when you was doing it. But you made yourself believe that it was okay because it was the norm. Right? So he said, these 10 times they done provoked me. They can't see the land. So what he did to him, he said, I denounced you. So you're going to surely do what? That's what happened. Right? Let's pick it up at Jeremiah chapter 26. Before we go there, Jeremiah chapter 6. Before we read that, anybody know what this whole thing is called? Like when the Most High tell you to do something and then you refuse to do it and you just don't do it and you don't care no more? It's a what now? Who asked about that last week? Somebody asked about that, about being reprobate or something. Somebody asked. Asked about it, right? And then you asked about it in Bible study. Well, guess what? Today we're going to talk about it. Right? So, a reprobate mind. What does it mean to be reprobate? A rebel? What'd you say? Useless? Stubborn? To live in sin? Have your own sin? Let's see. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 26. The definition that they give you on Google, it says an unprincipled person. What does it mean to be unprincipled? No morals. What'd you say, Rob? Proud. Unprincipled. Right? It also said rejected. I held on to that one. Right? Rejected. Jeremiah 6 and 26.
Jeremiah chapter 6 and 26. O daughter of my people, gird thee with sackcloth, and wallow thyself in ashes. Make thee mourning as for an only son.
He said, wallow in ashes and make you mourn as what?
Make thee mourn as for one and only son.
As for an only son. Can you imagine having an only son? Who got one child in here? Boy and girl? Boy, imagine if your son perished. God forbid. How would you feel? Devastated. Sick. I can't eat. I can't drink. I can't sleep.
That's right.
He said, this is how you should feel right now. Before he even finished telling you what he's telling you, he getting you ready by saying, put on some sackcloth and imagine your only child is gone. Read.
Most bitter lamentations.
Most what?
Most bitter lamentations.
It's a bitter lamentation. What's a lamentation? To cry. It's a bitter cry. Who you blaming when your only child died? Everybody. Some not even short of the Most High. But this is what he wants you to imagine. Read.
most bitter lamentations, for the spoiler so suddenly come upon us. I have set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people, that thou mayest know and try their way. They are all grievous revolters.
They are what?
Grievous revolters.
They are grievous revolters. This is how he feels. He said, my law is not what? Grievous. Right? What does it mean to be grievous? Burdensome. But he told us that we are grievous revolters. You keep on going against what I'm telling you, and it's grieving me. Read.
They are all grievous revolters, walking with slander. They are brass and iron. They are all corrupters.
You what? They're corrupters. Read.
The bellows are burned. The lead is consumed of fire. The founder melteth in vain. For the wicked.
He said the what? What melted in vain?
Hold on. The lead is consumed of the fire, and the founder melteth in vain. For the wicked are not plucked away.
For the wicked still ain't gone. They still here. All of this stuff I done did, and you still wicked.
Wow.
Read.
Reprobate.
They what?
Reprobate. Silver.
He called it reprobate silver. What's that? No good silver. Read.
Reprobate silver shall men call them.
Because what?
Because Yahuwah have rejected them.
Reprobate silver. Because what? Because Yahuwah done rejected them. So if you ever get into a space where you're reprobate, you have to understand that there is no coming back. Because Yahuwah has done what? Rejected you. Now, on the flip side, watch who you call reprobate. This is like the worst thing a believer could be called. Because you're saying that they are damned to hell. There's nothing else that they can do. Or damned to the pit. It's nothing else that you can do after this point. Can you imagine being rejected of the Father? I denounce you this day, so you shall surely perish. Right? If you're reprobate, can you go and say, man, I just want to make it to atonement? No, it don't work like that. After you're reprobate, ain't no going back. And I'm going to show you why. But it's people that'll think, man, well, as long as you're breathing and you reprobate, you got a time to change. No, you don't. There's nothing else you can do. You might as well be dead. But how do you know if you're that already? That's what we got to figure out. Are you there already? Are you already to the point where ain't no coming back? Think about all the stuff you've been doing. Are you too far gone? Are you in too deep? You ain't no cop, Jay Reed. Are you too far gone to come back? Right? Pick me up 2 Timothy chapter 3. Matter of fact, get Hosea 4 and 6, and then we go on to 2 Timothy 3. So he says that you're reprobate silver because Yahuwah has rejected you, right? Now, reprobate go two ways. In order for Yahuwah to reject you, what have you to do first? You gotta reject him first. He's not just gonna reject you just because. You had to do something to be rejected. Make sense? Hosea 4 and 6.
Hosea chapter 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge.
Because you did what?
You have rejected knowledge.
You rejected the knowledge. You already destroyed because you lack it. But now when you get it, you do what with it?
Reject it.
Now you reject it. Now you don't want to hear it. Go with all that. I don't want to hear that. They say to the seer, see not. Right? Don't prophesy among us. Don't talk to us about that which is good. I don't want to hear it. Leave me alone with it. You're going to get to the point where y'all say, keep it. Right? Keep it. Read.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I will also reject you, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the law of Elohim, I will also forget your children.
Remember, he told you that if you choose life, then it'll be well with you and your what? And your seed after you. But he said, seeing that you forgot me, not only do he forget you, but your what? Because you're raising them into the people that they are going to be. So if you doing wrong and you showing your kids how to do wrong, what's the latter end? You have to be the example. But if they see you wilding, they think that it's okay. Read.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me.
They sinned against who?
Against him.
They go right back to sinning against the Most High. Read.
Therefore will I change their esteem into shame.
Psalms chapter 4, verse 2.
Psalms chapter 4 and verse 2.
Yeah.
O you sons of men,
Yeah.
how long will you turn my esteem into shame?
Wait a minute. He just said you turn my esteem into shame. Now he asking you a question. How long you gonna do this? The Most High esteem is bright. It's to be carried out and looked upon for all men to see light. But you dimming it out. So if you the one who dimming my light, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna remove you. Read.
O you sons of men, how long will you turn my esteem into shame? How long will you love vanity and seek after leasing and Selah? But know that the Master have set apart him that is godly for himself. Yahuwah will hear when I call unto him. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still.
He said, do what with your own heart?
Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart.
What does it mean to commune with your heart? Speak to your heart. Deal with yourself. Stop blaming everybody else and deal with yourself. It's easy to be like, well, but they made me. But they said, but you the reason. My problems is because you won't do this, or you ain't did this, or you. He said, commune with yourself. Proverbs 1 and 22. But instead of doing that, we just reject him. We just turn away from him like he don't mean nothing. But after so long of a time, he's going to denounce you while you're breathing. Scary. You kill a man dead, that ain't saying nothing. You kill a man while he's breathing, then you saying something. Can't tell y'all where I got that from.
That ain't no script.
That ain't no script. It's true. It's true.
That's Nietzsche.
You know what I'm saying? It's true. Well, I said, Proverbs 1 and 22. If he denounce you while you breathing, to know that ain't nothing else you can do. When Mashiach was writing those men's name down in the dirt, anybody remember that? What did he write their names down for? He wrote their names into the earth because that's it. That was it for them. You don't get nothing past this. You here. You get nothing past this. You don't get my kingdom. You're done. Imagine how they felt leaving there and wanting to do everything in their power to change. But at that point, they're not changing because they want to be good people. They changing because they don't want that faith. They're not the people that he wants. Go ahead.
Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones?
There you go. How long again?
How long will you simple ones? Will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
And fools do what?
Hate knowledge.
I rejected you because you rejected the knowledge. Read.
Turn you at my reproof.
He said, do what?
Turn you at my reproof.
Turn at my reproof. Guess what? The Most High sent people in your life that'll tell you, hey, you're bugging out. You need to stop. But you know what you will say? Oh, you ain't the Most High. You can't judge me. You can't tell me nothing. Huh? Since when? Since when he sent somebody down here to give you the right way? But you ignored him. You would have been one of the ones that killed the prophets. Ain't that what he said? Read.
Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my ruach unto you. I will make known my words unto you.
I'm going to pour it out to you. I'm going to make my words known to you. I'm not going to just put you off for no reason. How many of y'all in here heard the word before? How many of y'all believe it? How many of you think you or say you walking after it? So if you go wrong and you start to commit sin, it's not that you don't know. We're going to get to that. Read.
Because I have called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded.
I called and you refused. Read.
But you have set at naught all my counsel.
You have said at naught what?
All my counsel.
He said, you said at nothing my counsel. You made my counsel to you nothing. I sent the people to tell you what you was doing wrong, and you disregarded it. You disregarded it because you ain't the Most High. You can't tell me. You don't know my life. You don't know my story. But you don't understand, that's a warning from the Most High. He gonna warn you before the destruction comes, right? Hey y'all, I'm about to send these plagues upon Egypt. It's all you gotta do to survive, and you get up out of here. Put that blood on that door, and you good. Then the plagues happen, and you done forgot to put the blood on. Man, he don't know what he's talking. That's Moses. He been up there with them all this time. Now you done. Because you said at naught his counsel. Read.
But you have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproofs. I also will laugh at your calamity.
I'm going to do what?
Laugh at your calamity.
The Father laughing at you because you doing stuff to get yourself in trouble? Man, I just can't find the right woman, man. It's time after time, man. I just keep on messing up. Hey, they all treat me like this. Did you lay down with him, brother? Yeah, but you know,
check it out.
Man, that one girl, she burnt me, bro. She burnt me. Y'all gonna laugh at you because he been telling you not to do it. Oh man, yeah. You got the clap.
I make a clap.
Why wouldn't he laugh at you? Why, if I tell you leave the stove alone, because the stove is on, do you think I'm not going to laugh at you when I see you burn your hand? Why do you think I'm not going to? I'm going to see if you're all right in a minute, but I'm going to laugh right now. Because you knew you was wrong when you went to touch it. But you said at naught his counsel because his counsel ain't the Most High himself. You think the Most High put us in position to preach this word, to give advice or give counsel for nothing? Huh? That means nothing. Absolutely nothing. You will say, I'll come in here and I'll learn from you, but you can't tell me nothing. The sense that makes is absolutely zero. Hey, you should do it like this. Don't do that like that. Don't do that. And then once you go through issues, now it's a problem. Or you blame the person that gave you the advice. Keep reading now.
I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear comes.
I will do what?
I will mock when your fear comes.
Because he the one who is supposed to get all this stuff out your way. So when it come down on you, why in the world would he not laugh at you? He said, I stretched out my hand to you. I gave you my word. I gave you my ruach. I gave you every tool that you needed. And you wanted none of it. You chose differently. Why wouldn't he laugh at you? Most High ain't got no sense of humor? He can't laugh? Read.
When your fear comes as desolation and your destruction come as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you.
Okay, now when you going through all this stuff and you call on the Most High, will he come and help you? Right? Now, but it's the fact that you got into it in the first place, right? Well, let's see. Read.
Then so they call upon me,
and I'm going to help them.
But I will not answer.
What?
I will not answer.
I'm not coming to help you. I sent it to you. I sent you that issue that came to your door. Because you wouldn't listen to me.
Work it out.
If you don't turn your ear to hearing the law, even your prayer is a what?
Abomination.
But when we think that the Most High is all love and all, he would never do that to me.
Yes.
You're completely wrong.
Yes.
Because he will. 2 or 3 times over. But you better be lucky that you had the opportunity to change. If he ain't denounced you already. Because this right here, ain't no coming back from this one. And we gonna see. Read.
Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me.
But he told you in another spot, if they seek me early, they'll find me. But these people, he say, when you seek me early, I ain't gonna be out there for you. Why? Because I tried to come at you multiple times. I sent 3 boats to save you. Y'all know that saying. One boat came by. Hey, come on. Get in the boat.
I'm waiting on y'all.
Waiting on y'all. Leave me alone. Tell the story how it should really go. Don't tell the cliche. Man, go on somewhere, man. You're a part of chosen seed. I don't need your help. Bro, your boat sinking, bro. Come on. No, go on. Y'all gonna save me. Here come another one. Hey, man. What you over here for? Bro, I just seen you sinking from over across the way. I was just trying to help you out. Y'all gonna save me. He already told me he was gonna save me. Well, why your boat sinking in the first place, man? Anybody thought about that? Anybody thought about why the boat was sinking? He poked the holes in it. He did it himself. But now you want y'all to come save you. Then the third one come. Hey man, yo, you really, bro, you like Titanic in the water, bro. Nah, man, y'all gonna save me. Then the man die, right? Then the story goes, and then he get up there and say, hey, why you ain't come save me? He said, I sent 3 people to help you, right? But where he talking to him in heaven when he's saying this though, right? That ain't the real story. That ain't the real story. Y'all ever come to you 3 times trying to straighten you out, and you don't take it? Ain't no conversation from the Shamaim. The book gonna be open, and you ain't gonna be able to say a word. Yeah, when you poked them holes into that boat and you was drowning, yeah, I sent them people to save you. I sent them to help you out. I sent them to give you counsel on how to get out of that situation. But you would none of my counsel. So when your calamity happened, I was laughing at you. Get out of my face, I never knew you. Right?
That's scary.
Right? Keep reading. Verse 29.
For they that hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahuwah.
And it say they didn't choose the fear of Yahuwah. What is that saying? They didn't choose the what? No. They didn't choose to respect Yahuwah. They didn't choose to reverence Yahuwah. They chose to do their own thing. Read.
They would none of my counsel. They despise all my reproofs. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way.
He go what?
They shall eat of the fruit of their own way.
In the beginning, didn't he give them fruit and all that stuff for them to eat? He provides this stuff for you, but he said, no, you're going to eat your own fruit. You produce your own fruit, you eat your own fruit. I'm done with it. Read.
And be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkens or listen unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
But the people that actually listen at my counsel, the people that actually take heed to what I'm telling you, they the ones that's not going to be in no type of fear. They the ones that's not going to be worried about calamity. Jump over to the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3. Y'all still with me?
Yeah.
Because when you reprobate, you reject it. Ain't nothing else. Let's see an example.
2 Tim what?
2 Tim chapter 3. Verse 8.
Second Timothy chapter 3 and verse 8. Now,
Verse 2.
For men,
Verse 1. It wasn't B this time, it was B.
all right, 2 Tim chapter 2, verse 3. Chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
They're going to be what?
Lovers of their own selves. Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good.
No. What did that say?
Despisers of those that are good.
What?
Despisers of those that are good.
Good.
Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of Elohim.
Fornicators. Is that what that is?
Yes, sir.
They love the pleasure more than they love the Most High? Go ahead.
Having a form of godliness.
Having a what?
Having a form of godliness.
But what?
But denying the power thereof. From such turn away.
He said having a form of reverence. But what?
But denying the power thereof. From such turn away.
He told you from such people do what?
Turn away.
From such people do what?
Turn away.
So you see what we got to start to weed out. Right? Read.
For of this sort are they which creep into houses.
They do what?
Creep into houses.
Listen to this. These type of people do what?
Creep into houses.
They creep into houses.
And lead captive.
And do what?
Silly women.
They take silly women.
Laden with sins.
Laden with what?
Laden with sins.
Read.
Led away with diverse lusts.
Led away with who?
Diverse lusts.
This is the book talking. Read.
Ever learning and never able to come unto the knowledge of the truth.
Always learning, but still can't come to the true knowledge. How many of y'all always learning in here? But who got it though? Who get it? Make sense? You can learn all day long, but if you don't get it, don't mean nothing. Read.
ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Now, as Janus and Jambres withstood Moses,
they did what?
Withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth.
When you resist the truth, what you doing? You rejected it. Read. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. Reprobate concerning the faith. They're rejecting the faith. They're rejecting the faith. Read. But they shall proceed no further. Did they what? For their folly shall be manifested unto all men, as theirs also was. You don't think that this stuff not gonna come up? You don't think that the stuff you do in secret is gonna be shown in the light? Do you think that? He said their folly is gonna be shown. It's gonna come up unto all men. You gotta know this. David did what he did in secret, and the Most High showed it publicly to everybody. You can't think you know different when that man had a heart after his. We don't know if you got a heart after his. Right? Read. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifested unto all men, as theirs also was. This is the key. Read. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, patience. You knew all of this stuff. You know all of this stuff already. But you still partaking into the evil. Right? Jump over to the book of Romans. Matter of fact, get Luke the 11th chapter. B, get Psalms 19:7. Read the Psalms 19:7 first. Y'all still with me?
Yeah.
All right. Make sure I ain't putting y'all to sleep. Some of y'all, I'm gonna call y'all out until you stand up.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 7.
We got coffee in here and everything. Y'all fall asleep on the word. Y'all better get up. Drink it black. Take all that sugar out of there.
I had that slave face.
Oops.
Glue my eyes open.
Got that coffee over there. It's black. Nah. Oh. Hey, we talking about my eye, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing that. Come here. Yeah.
When part time reprobate spirit, it's not always sent by the Most High, is it?
No, they're when they got that, it's because of them. But once they're reprobate, that's the seal. It's the seal.
It's not that he sent it. It said he give them over
Yeah.
to a reprobate. So when you try to loophole your way out of something, then that's what being reprobate is. It's like you try to make excuses for your transgression, right? Then finally it's like, well, this ain't, I'm not doing nothing wrong. And then it's like, okay, that's what you want to believe, then okay.
You can have it.
Yeah, you can have that. He give you over to your own belief.
Psalm 19:7.
Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7. The Torah, the law of Yahuwah, is perfect, bringing back the being.
So that's converting the soul, bringing the soul back. Right? That's in the Hallelujah scriptures, y'all. The law of the Most High is perfect, converting the soul, bringing back the soul. Read.
The witness of Yahuwah is trustworthy.
Is who?
Is trustworthy.
Making
wise the simple.
You can trust his word. Right? He said, how long shall you simple ones love simplicity? Right? But his law is supposed to do the opposite. It's going to make wise the simple. Read.
The orders of Yahuwah are straight, rejoicing the heart.
They're what?
Straight, rejoicing the heart.
But they keep me away from my pleasures. They stop me from doing what I want to do. So I gotta forget about that real quick. Don't fake with me. If you committing a sin, you literally have to put his law out of your mind. Because it pop up in your head when you're doing it. Huh? Don't it? Thou shalt not do that. It's like you gotta physically kind of. I've been there before. I know. You gotta shake that thing off. And keep on doing what you're doing. Read.
The commandment of Yahuwah is clear, enlightening the eyes. The reverence of Yahuwah is clean, standing forever.
It's clean, standing forever. Read.
The right rulings of Yahuwah, or the judgments of Yahuwah, are true. They are righteous altogether.
So if you go outside of what he talking about right here, that means that you ain't following his law. You ain't following his commandments. You literally being a child of Satan. Literally. It's literal. He want all reprobates. That's what he go for. And we gonna see that too. He want all reprobate. Come on with it. Right? Psalms 119 and 9. Drop that Luke 11. No. Yeah, drop the Luke 11 real quick. Get Psalms 119 and 9. Sorry, y'all. When something pop up, you got to go to it because it's the book. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 119 and 9.
Psalms chapter 119 and 9. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
When shall he do what?
Cleanse his way.
How shall a young man cleanse his way? Which means it was what before? It was dirty. How he gonna clean it? What did he say do?
By taking heed thereunto according to thy word.
By taking heed to the Most High's word. That's the only way. But what happens if you don't take heed? Huh? You through. Read.
With thy whole heart.
With your what?
With my whole heart have I sought you. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments.
This is the type of zeal you're supposed to have. Right? Read.
Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against you.
I put it in my brain. He said, I put it where? Not just put it there, but what did he do?
That I might not sin against you.
He hid it. He hid it as a treasure. Right? How many of us do that? Actually hide his word away so you don't forget it. Right? Now get Luke 11. Now watch this. How a man supposed to cleanse his way? By taking heed to the word. Right? Luke chapter 11. Pick it up at verse 23. I ain't going to be before y'all too much longer. I just want to, kind of cover this little thing one time.
Luke chapter 11 and verse 23. He that is not with me is against me.
The Mashiach said, what now?
He that is not with me is against me.
He drawing a line in the sand. If you ain't with me, you against me. Period. Ain't nothing else to it. Read.
And he that gathereth not with me scattereth.
If you ain't gathering with me, going in this direction, you scattering. Read.
When the unclean ruach is gone out of a man.
It said the unclean ruach is done what?
Gone out of a man.
So when an unclean one goes out of a man, that means that man has done what? Cleansed himself. He cleansed himself by doing what? Taking heed to the word. Right? Imagine. You like, you know what? I'm going to get myself together. I ain't going to be doing none of this wickedness no more. I'm straight. The unclean spirits leave you. Those thoughts of fornication, they leave you. Those thoughts of being lascivious leaves you. Disobedient leaves you. All of that stuff leaves you because you put your mind to, I am going to follow the Most High's word. How many of us done that? Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High for that, right? But it's another side to this. It's always two sides to it, y'all. It's always two sides. I know we ain't one side. It's always two sides. I got to show you both, right? Read.
When the unclean ruach is gone out of a man.
Now the unclean ruach, the one that he just got out of him, right? What is he doing?
He walking through dry places.
He walking through what?
Dry places.
He walking through what?
Dry places.
He's walking through dry places. Doing what?
Seeking rest.
He's seeking rest. Now, let me ask y'all. Why would he be walking through dry places? Anybody ever thought about that right here? He said he walking through dry places seeking rest. What are the dry places? Tribulation. Places where he can't tip somebody. People. Remember, he just left out of something that was clean. So is he looking for something clean? No. He's looking for something dirty. He's looking for dry place. Well, let's see. Let's see. Pick me up in 2 Peter chapter 2. Pick it up in verse 9. So that unclean spirit had to get on up out of there because that man had cleaned up his ways. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9.
Touch your neighbors and say you about to get something. Touch them and say you about to get something. This is what you paid your money for today.
2 Peter chapter 2, let's pick it up in verse 9. Remember, this unclean spirit is walking around dry places seeking rest. Right? Read.
2 Peter chapter 2 verse 9. The master knoweth how to deliver the ungodly, the godly, out of temptation.
Now, this is a gift. The godly are the ones who are able to escape out of what?
Temptation.
That's a gift.
Yes.
Because the ungodly, he not opening those doors for escape. Read.
And to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment,
Remember,
to be punished.
So he said he's going to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment for punishment. Sound like denouncing to him, to me. If he deem you unjust now, oh yeah, you through. Well, let's see. Because remember, they walking through dry places seeking rest. Read.
But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of the uncleanness.
But chiefly, firstly, those that do what?
That walk after the flesh.
Those that walk after the flesh.
In the lust of uncleanness.
In the lust of who?
Uncleanness.
Because this was a what type of spirit that left out? Read.
And despise government, presumptuous.
They despise who?
Government.
Be what they say in there.
Authority.
They despise what?
Authority.
They despise authority. How many of y'all don't like authority? Right? Despise authority. So when somebody come in and tell you of a status like Quab, come and tell you about this fornication, I don't like that anyway. Ain't about to listen to that. You despise authority. Right? Read.
But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust, uncleanness, and despise government, presumptuous are they, self-willed.
They're what?
Self-willed.
They doing what they want to do. To be self-willed means that you're not walking after the will of who?
Yeah.
Come on.
They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. Whereas angels, which are greater in power and might, bring not railing accusations against them before the master.
They ain't scared to talk bold about other stuff that's higher than them. But the angels that are higher than them won't even speak boldly about them to the Most High. That shows you that they out of their cotton picking mind. Read.
But these as natural brute beasts.
But these are as what?
Natural brute beasts. Made to be taken.
They're made to be what?
Taken and destroy, speak evil of the things they understand not.
They speaking evil of the stuff that they don't even understand. It can't be saying that in there. It just can't. I know it can't. Huh? What are you talking about? Do you even understand what the book is saying? No, but it can't be saying that though. You fit the bill. Read.
And shall utterly perish in their own corruption. And shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots, they are
spots they are. When you supposed to be presented before the Father, it's supposed to be what? Spotless, blameless, blemishless. He said spots they are. Read.
Spots they are, and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceiving.
With their own what?
With their own deceiving.
They deceiving themselves to make themselves think it's all right. But now let's take it a step further. They deceiving themselves while what?
They're deceiving while they feast with you.
While they coming around you, eating amongst you. They deceiving themselves. They wicked as all outdoors. Making themselves think that they right. And they coming and kicking it with you. So, what's going to end up happening if you continue to feast with them? It's going to jump on you. Hold what you got. B, get Psalms 1 and 1. Remember these dry places now. They coming around and they feasting with you and they wicked as all outdoors. And sometimes you know it. Sometimes you know it. We talk about people that's in the faith. We talk about people that's in the faith, that's professing godliness. Saying that they love the Most High, but you know in your heart of hearts that they out here doing y'all knows what. Despite if they tell you, oh no, I'm not doing that. That's not going on. Despite that, you know. Read, what did he tell you to do?
Baruch is the, excuse me, Psalms chapter 1 and verse 1. Baruch is the man who shall not walk in the counsel of the wicked, and shall not stand in the path of sinners, and shall not sit in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of Yahuwah.
He said, blessed is the man that don't be with these people. Right? So if they're among you and you know that they're wrong, what you supposed to do? You have to either correct them and stay for the correction, or correct them, you know they ain't taking it, and get on up out of there. Let's go back.
You correct them, they're going to get up out of there.
More times than not, if you corrected them in the way that you should, they're going to dip. You know what? I can't be around you. It's negativity. Second Peter again. Remember, these unclean spirits walk in what? Dry places. So we seen all of this stuff that these people were. They were wicked. They were evil. They were railing. Walking in the flesh. Read.
Verse 14. Having eyes full of adultery.
Having eyes full of what?
Adultery.
Adultery is a form of fornication. Go ahead.
That cannot cease from sin.
They can't do what?
Cease from sin.
They can't stop sinning. Read.
Beguiling unstable souls.
Doing what?
Beguiling unstable souls.
Tricking unstable souls into doing the things that they doing. Read.
And heart they have exercised with covetous practices.
Yeah.
Cursed children.
What happened?
Cursed children.
Cursed children. Read.
Which have forsaken the right way.
They forsaken the what?
Right way.
Go ahead.
And are gone astray.
And they gone astray. Read.
Following the ways of Balaam, the son of Besor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness.
Yeah.
But was rebuked for his iniquity.
So they was rebuked for their iniquity. Read.
The dumb donkey, speaking with man's voice, forbade the madness of the prophet.
Verse 17.
These are wells without water.
They what?
wells without water.
So if they're a well without water, what are they?
A dry place.
That's a dry place. So the unclean spirit is looking for what?
Looking for rest.
They looking for rest where they can feel comfortable.
One of these people.
The unclean spirit is looking for other wicked people. We need a witness?
No, we need something.
Give me Psalms.
They're not convinced.
Psalm 68 verse 5. Psalm 68 verse 5. Let's see. They told you these wicked people following after the flesh doing A, B, C, and D. These are wells without water. Right? They wells without water. They dry places. Read.
Psalm 68 verse 5.
Psalm 68 5.
Psalms chapter 68 and verse 5. A father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is Elohim in his Kodesh habitations. I'm in the right place?
Yep.
Elohim set up the solitary in families. He bringeth out those.
He said he sets the solitary in families. So the people that are lonely, he'll put with a family. The stuff that you actually need, he'll do for you. Make sense? But if you don't rest on him, what are you going to do? Nothing. Read.
Elohim set up the solitary in families. He bringeth out those which are bound.
He do what?
Bringeth out those which are bound.
If you in bondage, he bringing you out of it. Read.
With chains. But the rebellious dwell in a dry land.
But the rebellious dwell where?
In a dry land.
The rebellious dwelling in a dry land. Guess what them unclean spirits trying to find? They seeking rest. Where the rebellious are. The rebellious are who? Those that are reprobate. Right? Let's go back to Luke the 11th chapter. Matter of fact, hold on. Before we go there, get John chapter 7. So if we see somewhere where it's a dry place, surely there has to be somewhere where it's some water. I wonder what that water is. John chapter 7 verse 36. Hallelujah for his word.
John chapter 7 and verse 36.
Yeah.
What manner of saying is this that he said, ye shall seek me and shall not find me, and whether I am, thither you cannot come. In the last day, the great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst.
If any man do what?
Thirst.
When you got a well, what do you usually grab the water out the well for? Thirst. Read.
Let him come unto me and drink. He that believeth on me.
He that do what?
He that believeth on me.
As what?
As the scriptures have said.
Out of his belly?
Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
So only the people that believe. Now I asked this question at Bible study the other day. Can a person keep the commandments and not believe? They can? Can they? Believing is faith, right? Anything that is not done in faith is what? Ain't no believing in keeping the commandments together. Don't work like that. Everything outside of faith is what? It's sin. You got to believe while you're doing it. Because if you don't believe wholeheartedly, you're going to sin somewhere. Right? So, keep reading. What's the next verse?
But this he spake of the Ruach, which they that believe on him should receive. For the Ruach HaKodesh was not yet given, because that Yahushua was not yet glorified.
So understand this. Unclean spirits can't dwell in the same home that the Ruach is. So if it's unclean spirits in you, if it's sin in you continually, guess what you don't have? Guess what's that showing?
You in a dry place.
And you don't really believe. So it's time to tighten that up, right? Let's go back to Luke, the 11th chapter. So we figured out these dry places that he's trying to find, right? But there's no place like home. Huh? There's no place like home. He want to find rest in a dry place, but why would he go there if he can go back to the house he came from? Luke 11. Pick it up at verse 24. Actually, you start back at 24.
Luke 11 and 24. When the unclean ruach is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and finding none. He saith, I will return unto my house.
He said, I'm going where?
I will return unto my house from which I came out.
So he going back. I'm going back to that house. If he's allowed to get back into that house, what does that mean for that man? He let him back in. He let him in. Because you cleaned it up at first. But as soon as it started looking dry again, I'm going back home, homie. But let's keep reading.
And when he cometh, he findeth it swept and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh to him 7 other ruachs more wicked than himself.
Now he taking who?
7 more wicked spirits more wicked than himself.
He taking 7 wicked spirits more wicked than he. We ain't never going nowhere no more. We here to stay, baby. It took you a minute to get that one out. I wasn't going to get something to my homeboy. Oh, you thought I was a problem. I got some killers in the back. You know what I'm saying? It's our house now. Right? What did he say?
So when you get that text at 3 o'clock, I miss you, boo. You already know. You already know.
Yeah.
And when you do it,
yeah,
you just let it back in.
Wow.
Yep. You was trying to change your life. But now you done let something creep in. But now it's not coming back the same way it came before because it got put out. When it come back, it's coming back in a different way. I've been waiting on this. I've been lifting weights. I've been drinking milk. Get me out now. Now it's not just the one you got to get out. You got to get 7 of them after that one. What do that mean? They ain't going to. Hey, y'all. Once somebody get their bags into your house, what happens? They live there. Ain't no getting them out of there without the proper authorities. And it's still going to be a while. Now imagine how this is in the spirit. Because if you don't got the ruach, then you don't have the proper authority to get them out. So they there to stay. Which means you're going to be a what? Reprobate. Right? What verse is that?
26.
Keep reading.
Then he goeth and taketh to him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first.
Yeah.
And it came to pass, as he spake these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, Blessed is the womb that bare thee, and the paps which thou hast sucked. But he said, Yea, rather, blessed are they that hear the word of Elohim and keep it.
That's who's blessed. Blessed is the, he not even, this lady said, blessed is the womb that brought you forth. No, blessed is the one that hear the word and keep it. Because there's a lot of us that hear the word, but it ain't too many of us that actually keep it. He said, thousands of those that love me and do what?
Keep my commandments.
That ain't a lot, right? Now, jump over to the book of John chapter 20. We're going to wrap up in a minute, I promise. Promise. John chapter 20. Picking up at verse 21.
John chapter 20, verse 21. Then said Yahusha to them again, peace be unto you, as my Father hath sent me, even so send I you. And
So
when-
he said the Father sent him. So the Father sent him to do what? What was he sent here to do? Get the world right when it comes to sin. Remove sin away from people, right?
Recover the law.
You know what I'm saying? So he said he came to take sin away, to destroy the works of the devil. That's what he came to do, right? So he said, in the same manner my Father sent me, I do what?
send you.
So what is he saying that he's sending them out there to do? The same thing. To destroy the works of the devil and to do what with sin? Take it away. He gave men the power to remove sin off of you. That's powerful. Right? But check this. Keep reading.
Verse 22. And when he had said this, he breathed on them and saith unto them, receive you the Ruach HaKodesh. Whosoever sins you remit, they are remitted unto them.
What do that mean? Whosoever sins are remitted, they are remitted. What does that mean?
They are forgiven.
They're forgiven. Whoever got sin and you forgive them of their sin, and they're what? They forgiven. So the apostles had power to forgive men of their sins. Did y'all know that? That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
But what is it? There's two sides to it. What else?
And unto them, and whosoever sins you retain, they are retained.
Now what do that mean? Whosoever sins that you say gotta keep them, gotta keep them.
In other words, whoever's person you call a reprobate, right?
Absolutely.
Your sins are not forgiven.
Absolutely.
Be clear on
In a nutshell, if you come to somebody and you say, hey, your sins is forgiven, then they forgiven all the way up to the top. But if you come to somebody and you say, you know what, you a reprobate, keep your sins, guess what? They done.
That's right.
It's nothing they can do. So if he had the power to do, if they had the power to do that on earth, don't you think Mashiach had the power to do that same thing on earth? Did he ever tell Judas that he was forgiven? What did he tell him to do? Go do what you must. What that mean? Keep your sin. I ain't getting you about that one. Keep your sin. It's worse with you. Now, Proverbs 20 and 2. Proverbs 20 and 2. It says that he is the King of Kings, right? Proverbs 20 and 2. Let's see what it says.
Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 2. The fear of a king.
The what?
The fear of a king.
Mashiach was a king, yes?
Yes.
The fear of a king, what?
Is as a roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger.
If you provoke him to anger, what?
Sinneth against his own soul.
You sinned against your own soul. So when that man went up against the king, and he sent the king up to get killed, he sinned against his own soul. He didn't forgive him for that. Well, let's see an example. Get Acts the 5th chapter and the 1st verse. Acts 5 and 1. Acts 5 and 1. Acts 5 and 1.
Acts chapter 5 and verse 1. But a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira, his wife, sold possessions and kept back part of the price.
So they were supposed to sell their possession and everybody give their all. right, to the apostles so everybody can have their stuff equally amongst everybody, right? So they sold their stuff and they kept part of it, right? So it showed that they were selfish. Read.
And kept back part of the price, his wife also being private to it.
His wife also being what?
Being privy to it.
She knew too. So if her husband did it, what she should have said to her husband? You can't be doing that. I'm riding with my man though. Or ride or die. Literally. Read.
Brothers.
How many ride or dies we got? It's the death. Go ahead.
God, a certain part, and laid it at the apostles' feet.
So they came and brought the little part that they got and laid it at the apostles' feet, still hiding the other money. Right? Read.
But Peter said, Ananias, why have Satan filled thine heart?
Why have who filled your heart?
Why have Satan filled your heart to lie?
Why the adversary done filled your heart to lie? Now remember, he came to destroy the works of the devil. And you over here doing them. But why would he hide it and still bring a peace? What is he trying to convey? That he's righteous, right? You didn't see me sell this. You didn't see me sell this for 50,000. So if I bring you 30, surely that's enough, right? Somebody brought an offering in here for 30,000. You turned it down, B? You ain't turned it down.
I'm bringing all 20 of it.
So he gonna turn around and bring every dime of 20,000. Hey, he can't take the offering no more, yo. We gotta have somebody to take the offering.
Bring the whole team.
Right. So this man, just to put it in perspective, he sold a house for 50,000 and he brought 30. And what did he say to him?
But Peter said, Ananias, why have Satan filled your heart to lie to the Ruach HaKodesh?
To lie to who?
To the Ruach HaKodesh, and to keep back part of the price of the land.
Why you keep back part of your money? Because he thought couldn't nobody see him. And because couldn't nobody see him, he was all right. Same thing that we do. You think because don't nobody see what you got going on, that you good. But he called heaven and earth to record against you this day. And seeing as though these men were breathed on by Mashiach, of course, the heavens and the earth and the Ruach was going to testify to them of what you did. Right? Read.
While it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men.
You ain't lie to me. You ain't lying to men. You're not lying to Qua, B, Trav. You ain't lying to Yeshaya. You ain't lying to Yaron. You're lying to the Father. He see you. Read.
Unto men, but unto Elohim. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the Ruach.
He fell down and gave up the Ruach. Now, was this an opportunity that they had to forgive him? Was this one of them keep your sin type deals? If you don't think so, let's look at the next verse.
And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the esteem, and great fear came on all them that heard these things. And the young men arose, wound him, wound him, and up, and carried him out, and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours.
So could they have forgiven him? Yes. When the woman was caught into adultery, right? According to the law, they were supposed to both got stoned. But what did Mashiach tell her? Go and sin no more. Not stay right here. I'm going to get that dirty Negro you was with. He could have did that, right? But he told her to go and sin no more. They could have told him the same thing. Read.
And it was about the space of 3 hours after when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in.
What's going on in here? Why everybody so scared? Read.
And Peter answered unto her, Tell me whether you sold the land for so much.
Tell me what you sold the land for.
It was 30,000.
It was only about
30,000.
about 30 bad.
I think it was 10. Yep, 30,000.
What you asking these questions for?
And where is Hananiah?
Why you ain't asking him? Ain't you supposed to direct your questions to my husband?
What's that mound of dirt outside? Where is Hananiah?
Go ahead.
Then Peter said unto her, How is it that you have agreed together to tempt the ruach of the master? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at thy door, and shall carry you out.
The feet of the men who took your husband and buried him out back, they waiting on you. Yeah,
Right.
pallbearers, they waiting on you. Could they have told her, you know what, you're forgiven?
Are you sure that's what you sold?
But what did he tell her? Keep your sin. You're going to die in it. Read.
Then fell she down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in and found her dead, and carrying her forth, buried her by her husband.
So they had opportunity to forget these people, but they didn't. There was an opportunity, right? What did she say? Read that last verse again. The verse where he asked her the question.
Verse 8, And Peter answered unto her, Tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, Yea, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, How is it that you have agreed together to tempt the ruach of Yahuwah? Behold, the feet of them which have buried your husband are at the door, and they shall carry you out.
I only lied once. How many times can you lie before he actually? How many niggas do it take to get to the center? The world may never. You might bite that thing. First time and you're done. You know what I'm saying? So why play with it? Why play with it? Right? So if they were able to tell people to keep their sins on earth, what do you think he's doing in the Shamayim? What do you think he's doing? Do you think that it's a situation where you can just freely do what you will? If the words say, thou shalt not, and you continue to do it, you don't have time to say, well, maybe this time, maybe that time. This could be the only time. Titus 1:16, exactly, or the last time. Or the last. We're about to close out. Couple more. 2 more. 5 more. I got 10 for you. Quav's got a sermonette too. He got a hot and ready. Titus 1:16.
Titus 1:16. They profess that they know Elohim,
This is the problem.
but in works they deny him,
This is the problem.
being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate.
To every what type of work?
Good work reprobate.
You rejecting the good works. You want to do what you want to do. Right? So because you rejecting the good works and do what you want to do, guess what he going to do with you? Reject you. That's what he told you. I have rejected you. I denounce you this day. There's nothing else that you can do. Romans 1:28. Romans 1:28. Matter of fact, you can pick it up at verse 25. That's what we go there for anyway. Whenever you hear an Israelite on the streets teaching, and they in Romans the 1st chapter, who they talking about? Talking about them homos, right? It is in the New Testament.
Romans chapter 1:25. Who changed the truth of Elohim into a lie?
Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie? It was the Israelites. Read.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
How does one do that? You can worship yourself. You can worship another person. If you sinning with somebody, guess what? It's a form of worship. He said that you are a slave to who you yield your members to. So if you yield your members to sin, then you are a slave to what? To sin. Read.
Who is blessed forever, so be it. For this cause Elohim gave them up unto vile affections.
He did what?
Gave them up to vile affections.
What does it mean? He said he gave them up to it. He let them have it. Keep it. Let's go back a little bit. Let's see how we got to this point. Read verse 20. Actually start at verse 19.
Verse 19. Because
18, he said. Somebody said 18, so you gotta read 18.
15.
Let's start at verse 1. No, I'm just joking. Verse 18. Let's start at verse 18.
Verse 18. For the wrath of Elohim is revealed from Shamayim against all ungodliness.
Some of it.
And all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness.
Hold on. He said to the people that hold the truth in unrighteousness. The people who's supposed to know. The people who's supposed to profess. Read.
Verse 19. Because that which may be known of Elohim is manifested in them. For Elohim have shewed it unto them.
I showed you me. You supposed to be pushing me out of you. But you pushing out something else. Read.
For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse.
You don't have an excuse on why you wouldn't keep his commandments. Because everything around you is a testimony that he's real. It's a testimony of his greatness. When you see the trees outside, they grew from something. When you see the people around you, they came from something. When you see the pavement, when you see the sky, the clouds, it's a testimony of the Most High. So you don't have an excuse on why you wouldn't be doing what's right in the eyes of the Most High. Ain't no excuse. But you're going to make one anyway. And this is what's going to make you reprobate. Well, I only did it because it was tight, so I had to do this. Read.
Because that when they knew Elohim,
they what?
When they knew Elohim, they esteemed him not as Elohim, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations.
In their what?
In their imaginations. And their foolish hearts was darkened.
Their foolish hearts was darkened because they followed after themselves instead of him. This is how you become reprobate. It's not just sin, you're reprobate. It don't work like that. It's a transitional thing. You work yourself into being reprobate. But he said, even these people still come and hear the word. Just because you hear and you hear the word don't mean that you're not reprobate. Don't get it twisted. He said those that hear and do. Read.
Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
I know the truth. I know the word. But they became what?
Fools.
That's the worst position to be in. Actually, if you know the truth and then you still do otherwise. Read.
And changed the esteem of the uncorruptible Elohim into an image made like corruptible man.
Adam was made in the image of the uncorruptible. Then he sinned. And then he turned into corruptible flesh. Are you going to do that? Read.
Made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore Elohim also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
Through the what?
Through the lust of their own hearts.
Your heart and what you lust after in your heart is the reason why you got put to this. This is the reason why he gave you up to it. Because it was in your heart. It wasn't something that you just did you know, it's over with. No, this was something in your heart. You're supposed to hide the commandments in your heart, but instead of doing that, you hid sin. Read.
Wherefore Elohim also gave them up to unclean through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies.
To do what?
To dishonor their own bodies.
So, just like the fornication thing from last night, right? I mean, from last week. You dishonor your own body when you commit fornication. But the only reason you out committing fornication is because that's what's in your heart. It's in there. Read.
Between them, these boys going out.
PJ. Bro, you knocked the dang on cord out the wall. Sit up. What's wrong with you, bro?
Check.
Back on.
Go ahead.
Who changed the truth of Elohim into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever, so be it. For this cause Elohim gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman.
So again, I said people come here for the homosexuality, right? Because it says that the women changing their to the read that again. That.
For this cause Elohim gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So naturally, I'm gonna take it in two directions. Naturally, a woman is supposed to be with a man. Yeah.
Right.
But nowadays, you got a woman with another woman. Naturally, a woman is supposed to be with one man. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Did I say that right? Naturally, a woman is supposed to be with one man. But what happens when she over and over is with multiple? Did she change to that which is against nature? Absolutely. Which go back to the fornication, right? Because in the eyes of the Most High, you looked at as a what? A harlot. Read.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust.
Ain't leave the men out of it.
One toward another, man with man, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of their error, which was meet.
So he's telling you, the men doing the same thing. Read.
And even as they did not like to retain Elohim in their knowledge, Elohim gave them over to a reprobate mind.
He gave them over to it. You can have it. Because all of this stuff led into this. You can have that, man. You done. Ain't nothing else I can do with you. I done presented myself to you. I done gave my arm out to you. I done showed you my ruach. I done showed you my word, and you still do. You can have it. Ain't nothing else I can do. If it's the Most High saying ain't nothing else He can do for you, that's worse than hearing the doctor saying that you got stage 4 cancer.
That's right.
It's way worse.
Stage 4 cancer, the doctor say he can't do nothing for you. The Most High, at least He can still get you. He can still heal you. When He say He can't do nothing else for you,
You're done.
I denounce you this day. You're perished. You're going to die. It's nothing else. Read.
And even as they did not like to retain Elohim in their knowledge, Elohim gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient.
What's not convenient?
Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of Elohim, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgments of Elohim.
Who what?
Who knowing the judgments of Elohim.
Because you know the judgments of the Elohim. Read.
That they which commit such things are worthy of death. Not only do the same, but they have pleasure in them that do them.
So not only will you perish, but You'll perish if you got pleasure in the people that's doing this stuff. Huh? That's why he say don't be unequally yoked. Because if you start to have affection for those that are a part of this list right here, and you got pleasure in them that do them, you still worthy of death for it. Don't be a part of the person, or don't be the person that have a reprobate mind. Because it ain't no coming back from it. Ain't no coming back from it. Go ahead, Al.
That's like, kind of like more music almost, like hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All into that. And, wow, I never looked at it like that. Huh?
Same thing. Whatever you allow into your body is going to come out one way or another. Right? Whoever you allow into your presence, it's going to show one way or another. So what's more important? A relationship, a friendship, a job, a family member, or Yah? Don't be reprobate. Don't get to the place where he say, you know what? You can have it. You can have it. Could you imagine thinking, oh yeah, you know, I'm about to go ahead and turn my life around. But he done already put you to the point where it's like, ain't no turning around for you. You done. I tried with you over and over and over and over again. I tried with you. I'm done. It's like you're in a relationship with somebody to keep cheating on you. The first time, you're like, oh, this hurt. Second time, oh, that hurt. Third time, I expected it. Fourth time, man, you just doing what you do. Fifth time, sixth time, seventh, however many times you allow it. At one point in time, you're going to say, you know what? I'm good on you. Bruh, you can have it. That's what he doing with Shaitan. You can have him. I don't need nobody rocking with me like that. If you went as hard about your own pleasures with the Most High, you'd be all right. But you choose to dive into your own pleasures and what make you feel good. So that's going to produce the mind of a reprobate. Only thing you waiting on is for him to tell you to keep your sin. So how do you get away from that? Stop sinning. 1 John 3 and 8, we'll close it out. Start in verse 5. First John 3 and 5.
1 John chapter 3 and verse 5. And you know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth have not seen him, neither known him. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of Elohim was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of Elohim do not commit sin.
Wait a minute, that's too harsh. There is no way in the world this Bible is telling us that we cannot sin. That's not saying that. Nope. Y'all wrote that in there yesterday, and y'all made me read it today.
Well, I read it, but they'll make me do it.
So we're not adding to this when we're reading this for what it is. He that sinned willfully after receiving the knowledge of the truth.
There is no more sacrifice for sin.
So what did it say right here again, verse 9?
Whosoever is born of Elohim do not commit sin.
For what?
For his seed remaineth in him.
And what?
And he cannot sin.
Because
he is born of Elohim.
That means you need to get the Ruach.
That's right.
It ain't hard not to sin if you know what sin is. Just like it ain't hard to do 35 in a 35. Unless you want to do 50. Or you're late. You trying to get to the door before it closed. And you want to do 50 in a 35. You breaking the law trying to get saved. What's wrong with you?
These cops pulling people over for nothing.
Just because you black. Knowing you got a blunt sitting in the front with a 40 under the...
And your burner under the seat.
They just messing with me. I ain't saying that they don't pull us over for nothing, because I've been a victim. But come on now. Not every time. It be the dude, it be Pookie in the hood. And he on Facebook now. Cops pull me over for no reason. Man, shut up. I just seen you cop a pound. All Israel ain't Israel. That's true. That's true.
You say something. So, when y'all get in a relationship with some new person, remember this. You cannot change anybody.
That's right.
Right?
What do you mean?
Say it one more time. You cannot change anybody.
So if y'all can't change him, you dang sure can't change him. Go ahead.
He around me, I mean, I'll change him. No. You got more?
Hebrews 6:4.
You say you still going.
Oh, snap. My bad. But that was my last one. All right, this is the last one. I'm sure. I done forgot. You know what I'm saying? We just got to talk, and you know how that thing happens. When scriptures get to popping. After this, we asking for questions. I ain't even going to expound. We just going to go straight to questions.
Hebrews 6:4. For it is impossible for those.
Start at verse 3. At verse 4. Where I got you at?
Hebrews 6:4.
Start at verse 3.
Hebrews 6:3. And this
I'm going to put my mic down.
will we do if Elohim permit, for it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the Kodesh gift, were made partakers of the Ruach HaKodesh, and have tasted the good word of Elohim and the powers of the world to come, if they shall fall away, to renew them again unto repentance.
To do what?
And they shall fall away to renew them again unto repentance, seeing they crucify to themselves the Son of Elohim afresh and put him to an open shame.
It's impossible. This is a reprobate. It's impossible to renew you to repentance after you done had all of this knowledge, after you done had all of this stuff told you. You done seen what the Ruach could do. You've read it in the scriptures. If you turn away, ain't no coming back, because you're taking and putting that man back up on the stake yourself. So with that, I say shalom.
I love you. You hate it. Don't do that again. Do that again next week. Teach the same thing. I can't stand it. Them brothers make me sick. Oh my goodness. Let's go.
Them brothers make me sick for 200, Alex. Questions, comments, concerns? That was enough? Oh, we got a question.
No, I'm good. Where can we find the understanding, gather the understanding that we should not do financial transactions on the Shabbat? So why can't I leave the body here before the sun go down, go to the stove, get me a drink?
Say it again. You said, why can't I do what?
Why can't I leave the body here before the sun go down on the Shabbat and go get me a drink?
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Where did you go? Check.
Check.
To the bottom. Put it in the bottom.
Check.
It's short.
No, it's just hanging out to that top. Gotta be in there.
You said that's because I answered our question? Good grief. All right, now, do y'all understand the question?
He said don't work. He didn't say don't spend no money, right?
Somebody else can one of the sins of buying the Shabbat. Basically, that's what it is. There's a sin. You gotta buy and selling, huh? All things are all things are not expedient.
That's right.
Okay, I think you might be able to read Nehemiah 8:1-12 or 1 Samuel 20. Read that chapter. Amos 8:5. Read that. Colossians 2:16-18.
One moment.
Come on, Nehemiah 10.
Think so. That's a good version. Be safe, Hot. It's 21. Yeah, hold on, give me 1 second. 1 second, I got you. You can go ahead and break it down, brother. One second.
One moment, please. One moment, please.
I'm 2 weeks from now.
Is it 2 weeks?
Be getting it. Hold on 1 second.
Is it 13?
It's 1 and 13.
This is again one of those things that you would like to point out that's not in the law, written down, but it's in there. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be a nation of priests, and if we're not,
Yeah, get 10 and 28. Get 10 and 28.
Okay. Check and see if your mic open.
Yeah.
Well, they ain't getting this answer for y'all. I'm gonna everybody pray for my babies, man. Nasi and Yuri both been running some mad fevers for a couple of days now, so definitely keep my babies in prayer. Right?
Yeah.
You know I don't ask that too many times, right?
You know, there's no self-inflicted stuff that you gotta pray for.
Yeah, get 10 and what I say, 28?
10, 28.
10 and 28.
Yeah. Nehemiah chapter 10 at verse 28. And the
Hold on, no, just hold on. It's clogged. Nope, ain't doing nothing. Okay, 10:28. Go ahead.
Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse 28. And the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the porters, the singers, the Nethinim, and all they that had separated themselves from the people of the lands unto the law of Elohim, their wives, their sons, their daughters, everyone having knowledge and having understanding.
Everyone doing what?
Everyone having knowledge and having understanding. They clave to their brethren, their nobles, and entered into a curse.
Go ahead.
And into an oath to walk in the Most High's law, which was given by Moshe, the servant of Elohim, and to observe and do all the commandments of Yahuwah, our master, and his judgments and his statutes, and that we would not give our daughters unto the people of the land, nor take their daughters for our sons.
So that was part of the commandment coming from when we first come out of Egypt. Go ahead.
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day, and that we would leave the 7th year and the exaction of every debt.
Keep going.
And also we made ordinances for us to charge ourselves yearly with the 3rd part of a shekel for the service of the house of our Elohim.
That's good right there. Go now until 13 and 15. But basically what you're seeing in verse 31, it says, and if the people of the land bring wares, or say victuals or grains or food to sell on the Shabbat day, and we will not buy them on the Shabbat day or on any Kodesh day. 13 and 15.
Nehemiah 13:15. In those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and lading donkeys, also wine, grapes, figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day.
Okay, so you got a couple of things happening here. It says that he saw in Judah those treading wine presses, that's work, on the Sabbath day, and bringing sheaves and loading donkeys. So the bringing of sheaves and loading donkeys with wine, grapes, figs, and all kinds of burdens is where they brought to Jerusalem on the Sabbath day were to be sold, right? Finish that verse out.
And I testified against them.
And I did what?
And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals.
So he said he testified against them on that day, or it says he warned them on that day that they sold food. Go ahead.
There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah and said unto them, what evil thing is this that you do and profane the Sabbath day?
Then I did what?
And I said unto them, what evil thing is this that you do and profane the Sabbath day?
So he said he contended with the nobles of Judah and said, what evil matter or evil thing is this that you're doing by profaning the Sabbath day? The profaning being the things that they brought to sell, and also the work that was being done in verse 15. Go ahead.
Did not your fathers thus, and did not our Elohim bring all this evil upon us?
So did not our fathers also profane the Sabbath by doing these exact same things, and God brought evil upon us? Go ahead.
And upon this city. Yet you bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath.
By doing what?
By profaning the Sabbath. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark, before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gate should be shut.
So he commanded the gates to be shut the night before, when it began to be dark, the day before the Sabbath. Go ahead.
and charged that they should not be open till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath
There
day.
should no what?
Burden be brought in on the Sabbath day.
Now what's the burden that's brought in on the Sabbath day? Read verse 20.
Verse 20. So the merchants and sellers of all kinds of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice.
So they spent the night outside of the gates of Jerusalem once or twice, because he commanded that the gates be closed, but they should not bring any burden in on the Sabbath day to sell on the Sabbath. Go ahead.
And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, O my Elohim, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of your mercy.
Verse 21.
Verse 21. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge you about the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath.
So it said they lodged or they slept outside. They spent outside the gates of Jerusalem once or twice. But he warned them and said, look, what you standing out here to sell for? He said, you do it again, I'm going to lay hands on you. And they didn't come back again. So he's showing here that there was a transgression that was done by basically profaning the Sabbath, by working, by selling the victuals and all these different things, the carrying the burden on the Sabbath. Like that these was specifically profaning the Sabbath and specifically things that was done in the past that caused the transgression. You good? You asked the question.
Oh, I could be facetious. I ain't selling none. I'm lying.
Right.
Right.
Hey, brother, go read Amos 8:5. Tell me what you think about that scripture pertaining to his question.
I ain't carrying no burden. I just got me a drink. I got me a pop, you know. Got some formulas to pay.
Yeah, that's buying. Like I'm saying, he wasn't chastising the people he was chastising the people that was outside selling, and also the people that was buying, telling them, why is you doing this, profaning the Sabbath? And also the working. It was the working, the buying, and the selling, the whole nine.
What did he say? Amos?
Amos 8:5.
Somebody stole that boy up out of here. All right. One moment. Amos, the 8th chapter and the 5th verse, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat?
All right, so stop. So when will, he mentioned the new moon and also the Sabbath. When will it be gone so that we can, make purchases, right? Sell some wheat or whatever. Keep going.
The ephah small, the shekel great, and falsifying balances by deceit.
Okay, you done?
Yeah, that was verse 5. You want to keep reading?
Okay. So not only are we not supposed to work on the Sabbath, right? We're not supposed to make any purchases as well, right? That's clear, right? In Scripture. So because the Sabbath is holy, we should refrain from doing any type of work. We should refrain from cooking. We should refrain from using fire. We should refrain from making purchases. Going to the store, buying pop or whatever it may be. We should be doing any of that on the Sabbath. The Sabbath is a holy day. It's a day of rest. It's a day in which the Most High causes us to be sanctified and holy, right? To experience that. And we should ask the Father to do that on the Sabbath.
That Amos is speaking to outside too. That's why I'm talking about the full
Yeah,
moon, right?
but that's why you see that Nehemiah joint, he say, not the Sabbath or any Kodesh day. Which means set apart. Like these days are set apart for a specific reason, meaning that you're not supposed to do the same thing you do any other day.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Go ahead,
The key to that is just not doing your own pleasure on the Sabbath.
just add, we shouldn't be doing things that we normally do on the 6 days, the 6 days of work. So none of those things that we do on those 6 days, we should not do on the Sabbath.
Well, not necessarily none of the things, but you know what I'm saying? Because it's specifically dealing with work. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
The things that
Well,
specifically.
in other words, what I'm saying is that we shouldn't treat the Sabbath day as a normal day.
I agree with that.
The Sabbath day is a Kodesh day, a holy day.
Right.
We definitely.
And it's so we supposed to refrain or not do those things that's specifically mentioned in the law and the prophets as to what we shouldn't do. Right. But if you throw something else in there that's not mentioned, then you add.
Right, yeah, we shouldn't do that either. I don't know if that helped my brother.
All right, we got a question on the chat. Should we get the new Hallelujah scriptures? They're adding a new psalm from the Dead Sea Scrolls to the scriptures this year. Shoot, I don't know. I'm not.
It's completely up to you.
Yeah, Yeah, what's up?
See if it vibe with the rest of the law.
Yo.
Still in there.
Go ahead, bro.
I heard you say something about like not adding to the guidelines that come with the Sabbath. So when it comes to like my kids, when we try to restrict them from like playing games, am I wrong for doing that?
Like when we in here, when we dealing with the word, I say no. Because everybody's supposed to be paying attention to the word. You know what I'm saying? Now, can I point to you and say, you in sin? No.
What about like at the crib? You know, because I know they kids. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to make it too hard on them. But at the same time, I want to get them start molding them to honor God. You know what I mean? So I kind of restrict them to make sure I'm not out of line by doing it.
So the thing is that the you know your children, right? So the thing is, in the scriptures, what they command us to do as it pertains to our children is that we're supposed to diligently teach them the commandments. Are you taking the time on the Shabbat to teach them the commandments? So that's the thing that you commanded to do, is to diligently teach them unto your sons and your sons' sons, right? But if you choose to restrict them from playing the game on Shabbat, that's your choice. You know what I mean? But it's not like them playing the game on Shabbat is a transgression of the law. But if you restrict them, you're not transgressing either. You know what I mean? That's your choice as a father to say, hey, Shabbat, this is what we're doing today. Those are the guidelines of your house. You know what I mean? Because you're not saying, oh, you played the game today, you breaking the law. That's what adding to the law is.
Right.
You're saying, listen, it's Shabbat, cut them off for the day, this is what we doing.
Like as far as my kids, like on Shabbat, ain't no TV, ain't no nothing. Our whole day is built around reverence in the Most High. And it's only because repetition with children is what builds up, you know what I'm saying, that thing in them to say, I want to, or I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like building a relationship with them when it comes to the Most High. So imagine if I allowed them, that's just me, if I allow my children to do those things, you know what I'm saying, on the Shabbat, and when they come up and now I start to tell them, hey, you need to pay attention to the word. What you mean, Daddy? I've been playing the game for 15 years. How you gonna just switch it up on me? You know what I'm saying? So it's creating a culture for them. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately you want them to reverence the Most High. Ultimately, this is what you want them to do. So you got to show them what that look like and show them what, like, this is why Daddy paying attention in here. This is why Daddy don't do this and don't do that on the Sabbath day. You know what I'm saying? Because it's creating a culture. You know what I mean? But I can't, like I say, I can't point to him and say, hey, you're a sin. I can't point to you and say that. Go ahead, sir. Opposing the Most High's word.
Yeah, and like I said, that is your, as a parent, That's your decision. Well, not necessarily figure out whether, if you have restrictions and guidelines in your house that you want to follow on any day, as long as you're not breaking the outside the boundaries of the Torah, you good. And like I said, you're not putting it on and to say that, listen, when y'all do this on Shabbat, it's this, and this. No, you're saying, listen, on Shabbat, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're going to keep it like this. That's your, well within your right. But talking about their own pleasures in Isaiah 58. Right. And see, right. Yeah. I know what you mean as far as the Isaiah 58 go. And the Isaiah 58 joint always referred to as that was the Day of Atonement. I'm not sure if that's a 7-day Sabbath or if that's the actual Day of Atonement it's speaking of. I don't know. We've been talking about that for a while.
We'll Go ahead.
This was told to me yesterday. I eat pork because it's not a commandment.
What?
I eat pork because it's not a commandment. It's not any of the commandments, that's why I can eat it. He didn't say, he said keep the commandment. So that's not a commandment. I said, but it's a statute.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a commandment, but he says don't do it.
No, it is a commandment.
It is. It's a commandment. It don't say pork. It says swine. Pork is just a name for swine.
Right. Just like how they hide it in the food, they call it enzymes.
Yeah.
Right.
So swine is what that is. So when he say don't eat the swine, that's don't eat pig.
I think the loophole that they're trying to get around is the fact that you got your 10 Commandments, right? And then that's not listed in the 10 Commandments. But that's but that's the dietary restriction in the statutes. That's what it says: laws, statutes, and commandments. So because their statutes have been added in order to govern specific instances. But we already know that that was in place prior to the giving of the commandments with Moses, just based on when Noah, when he took animals onto the ark, he took so many clean, so many unclean. So it was known which animals were clean, which animals were unclean. And also when he came off, he did sacrifices. And it was known which animals to sacrifice and which animals not to, based on clean and unclean. So it was known. See, what we see in Exodus was the giving of the law to Moses, you know what I mean? But the law was already known way back, prior to Moses. Otherwise, so what makes you righteous? Doing what? Keeping the law, right? So how many people was allowed to go on the ark? Right? Who was deemed righteous? Only Noah. And his family was allowed to get on the ark. But if Noah was deemed righteous, how could he be deemed righteous if there was no law? There clearly had to be a law in place.
Can I say something about the pork? I don't know, many people may not know that the pork is a waste animal.
Yeah.
In other words, it's an animal that cleans up the waste on the earth. So the Most High made the pig to clean up the waste. And it could be toxic or whatever, right? And so the pig has a different digestive system than all of the other animals. So that's why we should not be eating the pig, because it's really a filthy, unclean, defiled animal.
Right.
And one of the things that the heathen nations used to do to tempt the Most High is that they would take pigs and they would make sacrifices.
Right.
That's an unclean animal. Now you just said that when Noah got off of the ark, and he made sacrifices, the pig was not one of the animals that was offered up, because it's an unclean animal.
Right. And then if you go back and check out the lesson that Quab did on the dedication or Hanukkah or whatever, you see that a lot of the times, not a lot of the times, but every time that the altar was defiled, it was defiled by sacrificing swine's flesh on the altar, and it had to be, basically
And I'll
torn
make
down.
one more comment too, okay? So, these heathen nations, right, these devils, right, they're trying to trip up the Most High's people by putting pork in a lot of the food products.
Yeah.
And you identify one of the names, the titles that they use in making some of these foods. Enzymes.
Yeah.
So if you look, when you look on the back of some of the ingredients of these products that we buy from the grocery store, and even snacks, if it got enzymes on it, it has pork. They're using pork blood, in some of the food that they're making, even at some of the restaurants. So be careful.
Yeah.
Because eating pork is an abomination. We shouldn't be.
Call them labels, man. Like I go in the store, if I ain't sure, I'll hit that number on the back for asking questions.
That's
and
right.
be like, hey, do y'all use animal products? Well, yes, we do. Which one?
Right.
Well, we use this, and this. Okay, so it's good. Another question is said. We got any more questions in here? Go ahead, bro.
First John chapter 9 talks about whosoever is born of Yahuwah doeth not practice sin, for his sin remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of Yahuwah. Now, can you elaborate and expound on that a little bit more and give some more clarity and some more understanding about this scripture?
Absolutely.
Because, are we saying that, Yeshua is God?
Ruffle a couple feathers too, man. So like everything we do, we got to make sure we check ourselves, right? It said, whoever is born of the Most High do not commit sin, right? Now, what does that mean? What does that look like? John 3 and 4.
John chapter 3 and 4. Nicodemus saith unto him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Yahushua answered, verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born of water and the Ruach, he cannot enter into the kingdom of Elohim.
So when he's saying born again, or a man that's born of Elohim, it's actually talking about being baptized. Right? Read.
That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Ruach is Ruach.
So when we taking our baptism into account, we have to take in the sincerity and if it was actually true. The reason why is because the person that gets baptized is supposed to receive what? The Ruach, right? Pick it up at Romans, the 6th chapter, and the 1st verse. So he said, a man that's born again, he don't commit sin, for his seed remains in him, right? And he cannot sin because he is born of the Most High. There's a reason for that. Now again, like I said, we got to take into account our baptism. We have to take into account that we're supposed to be receiving the Ruach HaKodesh, right? Now this is the book. This ain't me. Romans chapter 6 and verse 1.
Romans chapter 6 and verse 1. What then shall we say? Shall we continue in sin to let grace be abound? Yah forbid. How shall we who died to sin still live in it?
So if we died to sin, how can we live in it anymore? Right? Read.
Or do you not know that as many of us as were immersed in Mashiach, Yahushua, were immersed into his death?
So we was immersed into his death, but what happened?
We were therefore buried with him through immersion into death, that as Mashiach was raised from the dead by the esteem of the Father, so also we should walk in newness of life.
So the same thing with us. When he was royals of spirit, same thing we supposed to be. We're supposed to be royals of spirit, right? Had a Ruach in us. So if the Ruach in us, The Ruach is what's going to cause you not to do what? Not to sin. So in layman's terms, he said, look, if you was born of the Most High, you're not supposed to be sinning. Because you can't, because you got the Ruach. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us just went and hit the water and got wet. You know what I'm saying? So when he said, whoever is born of the Most High did not commit sin, for his seed remained in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of the Most High. And this the children of Elohim are manifest. Now we got to look back up at verse 8 and what he said. So he said his seed remains in him, which means that you're a child of the Most High. Right? Verse 8 says, he that sinned is of the devil. It automatically take you out of being a child of the Most High, or seed of the Most High. Because if you commit sin, then you're not of him. You're of the devil. So if you receive the Ruach HaKodesh, the Ruach is in you is supposed to keep you away from that stuff. But a lot of us didn't receive no Ruach. A lot of us just got wet. Or we chose to follow after the flesh even after we got baptized. So really and truly, when you get baptized, when you receive the Ruach, it's not I'll keep going until I make a mistake. You're making the conscious decision to not sin no more. He told that woman, go and sin no more. So if she went and sinned again, you know what I'm saying? His forgiveness was in vain. And that's the whole point about what we doing right now. We don't want his death to be in vain. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he's saying right there. That make more sense? Another question in here. All right, on the chat, does this include spouses who have declared they no longer want to follow the Most High? What is the believing spouse to do? I think in, is that Romans the 7th chapter? In 1 Corinthians 7? If they be pleased to dwell with you, you know what I'm saying, that you stay. You know what I mean? But if you leave, you know, you gotta remain unmarried. Yeah, I'm speaking to a woman. Question. What's up, bro? Yeah. Right. Right. Like, in this way, if a man was supposed to get killed for a particular sin, he takes that death now, right? So just like what we was talking about today, if he tell you to keep your sin, that means he not taking it on for you. He not taking it away from you. But he stands in the stead. If you were supposed, thou shalt surely die, you know what I'm saying? He took that. Or a sin that you had to sacrifice an animal for, he took that. Until he say, you come into the knowledge of this truth. Because I ain't doing it again. You get what I'm saying? So he definitely stood in the stead, like the death in the scriptures, the sentencing of death. He took that. He is that. You know what I'm saying? The other question in the chat. What's then is the backslider who is married to Yah? Turn the scripture, but the scripture that says Yah is married to the backslider, just curious, not interested in backsliding. Are you saying who is the backslider? Because the backsliding.
Let's get through this, y'all.
We know the backsliding
let's get through this.
Woman was Israel. So, married. Yeah, the 3 and 14 joint. Married to the backslider, not intimacy. You said, oh, are you saying who is the backslider? Because the backslider is Israel. 3:14. She said, where does one who backslides fit into this? I've known some people who backslid, just asking. In the divorce part? Go ahead, read it.
This is the backslider thing.
Yeah.
Turn on back. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahuwah, for I am married unto you. I will take you one of a city and 2 of a family, and will bring you to Zion. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
So, are you saying where does the reprobate fit into this? Or where does let me see. Where does one who backslides fit into this? I don't know. You know what that's called?
As a backslider.
Yeah, that's Christian stuff. Church. You can go off and do your thing and then grace and you can come on back.
I mean, the backslider, this is why he's in this verse, he's saying, turn, O backsliding children. These people not reprobate yet, meaning they have a chance, because he's telling them to turn from what they are doing. They can still be saved.
Right. Because, the thing is that if it's a difference between being reprobate when you make excuse to try to justify your transgression, than when you transgress and then get convicted and repent and be brought to repentance, like, oh, I know I messed up. And you try, it's a difference, complete difference.
Question. Is it enough when divorcing someone just to give them a letter of divorce? Are you supposed to still go to the court to get a divorce decree from a judge?
Depends on how you know it. Depends on if you're a male or female.
Definitely. Like if you're married in the courts and you give somebody a divorce paper and they decide that they don't want to honor that, you can't tell the courts that y'all divorced. You know what I'm saying? So I would say to get away from any legal type of trouble, just go through the process.
But if you are still in the eyes of the woman.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Should we be able to correct our brothers? Truth. What's wrong?
No, they were asking, do you have to go to the court to get divorced, or you just give someone a paper in their hand? That give a woman, not supposed to be you give a woman the bill of divorce, but if you marry through the court system, you have to go through the court system in order to get divorced as a man.
Right. And are you supposed to go? Oh yeah. Question: should we be able to correct our brother and sister in truth if we feel they are breaking the law? Absolutely. If you're not breaking the law.
Yeah, Because a person that's in the truth should be able to receive correction.
Yep. Can you brothers, we'll chop it up with you, Marcus. I think we like hit that like 1,000 times, but we'll chop it up with you all. Let me see. Under Aaron's divorce is permitted, so a certificate is needed. We're no longer under Aaron, we're under Melchizedek. There are people who were a backslider but returned. Okay. I thought some might think that if they committed sin, they no longer have hope. Just thought clarity would help any of us who sin. No, if you commit sin, like the book say, a living dog is better than a dead lion. So if you commit sin and you repent, hallelujah. But don't think because you apologize to the Most High that He accepted. This is the whole point of not committing sin. It's not up to us to say whether He gonna forgive or He not gonna forgive. That's the point of not doing it, because all judgment is up to Him. No, you can't just walk away if it's a mutual agreement. Just like it was a witness to y'all coming together, you gotta be witnesses to y'all separation. Again, it's all in account of how you got married. You know what I'm saying? If you went through the court system, then go through the court system. You know what I mean? Like I say, if you just agree and walk away, and somebody, you know what I'm saying?
It's not abiding the law.
Yeah,
the law don't say that. The law don't say let's mutually agree and walk away.
Yeah.
It says give her a bill of divorcement in her hand.
Yeah. I say it'll be a situation like, no, we still married.
Right, exactly.
Like, no, you agreed to this. It's like, no, ain't nothing on paper.
Yeah, there's no evidence.
No evidence.
There's no witness.
All right, so that's it for the questions on the chat. Anything else in here?
If you give them a bill of divorcement, and she refuses to take it,
It's on her.
Don't matter if she refused to take it. It's not her choice to refuse to take it or not. If you choose to put her away and you give it to her, then that's you followed the law.
Your spouse is not trying to follow, right? And she decided to leave. Are you still, you know what I'm saying,
You are no longer under the bondage of that covenant.
Say what?
What if you mail it?
No.
Put that thing in her
It's not
hand.
good enough.
I don't want no drama. She gonna jump on me.
No, I mean, there's a law states seriously, you know, give her a bill of divorce in her hand. You know, so I take that as literal.
1 Corinthians 7.
Who got throwing up?
That's the baby.
1 Corinthians 7 and
Turn it down.
all right, it says, and unto the married I command, yet not I, but the master, or Yahuwah, let not the wife depart from her husband, but if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. The rest speak I not of the master. If any brother have a wife that believe not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which have a husband that believe not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband, else your children were unclean. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, but the Most High hath called us to peace. Do that mean you can remarry? You can remarry if you get the bill. You talking about for a woman or for a man? If the unbelieving depart and say you at peace, you at peace. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They saying, can you get remarried?
Can you get remarried?
Deuteronomy 25.
Yeah. I read it. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1. When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he has found so uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. When she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
Back in the back.
Seriously, I'm back out here.
Sure.
I'm back out here.
All right, y'all. No more questions?
Let's pray out.
Hey, brother.
Yeah.
I got one commentary regarding your lesson.
Yeah.
Your lesson last week about fornication.
Hold it down, y'all.
One of the things that I don't know why it is that our daughters are attracted to bad men. You know, in other words, there's a
Black Mike.
a gravity, an attraction of our young, beautiful daughters to bad men. And consequently, what ends up happening is that they'll have sex and they'll get pregnant.
Please hold it down, y'all. Please.
And they'll get pregnant, and some of these guys, because they haven't been brought up properly, they won't, man up and take care of their child, right, or the baby. Years ago, when a man and a woman got married, even if they were young, they had a child or whatever together. They had a shotgun marriages, right? We no longer do that, right? So what happens now is that this beautiful young daughter is stuck with, raising up this baby, right, by herself. Now we all know that, it takes two people to raise up a baby. One single parent should not be raising those children, right? Because something is going to be missing within the character of that child.
Yeah.
So the mothers of the church, if some of these daughters are lacking proper instruction at home, the mothers in the church need to raise up and properly teach and mentor some of these daughters. Just like the men, we as men and brothers, we need to mentor our young men to make sure that, listen, this is a beautiful, precious woman. We shouldn't be abusing her, right? Physically, mentally, or whatever, right? They are precious because they receive they're receptors and they receive everything that we give them, right? So we have to be careful. So I guess my point is that the young ladies, be careful who you hook up with. Make sure that the one that you like is a man of faith, a man who is willing to take care of you and your child, right? If you get, if you sin, if you fall into sin, sin is possible. We all know that. We can trip and fall. But what I'm saying is, you gotta, the females, the young daughters need to raise your standard so that you're not bringing in or taking any of this garbage out there. Like deadbeat fathers, right? I don't think we brought that out enough last week. Maybe we did, but I just wanted to add that as a commentary. Okay?
Just a little bit of commentary. I would argue that our sisters are not attracted to bad men. That's taught. That's a symptom of the wicked place we're in.
Yes.
And they're not following scriptures or commandments, so they're left subject to, their own foul affections. And that speaks also to the lesson that y'all brought out, that we got to start paying attention, and if you can't fall in line, you gotta go. All that whoredom and fornication and hooking up ain't gonna be allowed.
And remember, it go two ways, because yes, they are precious.
They are.
But a mother can only help raise somebody that's receptive. So the young sisters have to be receptive to what the older sisters are going to, give them. Same thing with the younger brothers.
So it's important that the sisters, be filled with the Spirit.
It go both ways.
Now you're going to be, wise enough, supple enough to receive proper instruction.
Yeah, it definitely go both ways.
You're going to have a spirit that receives instruction from the older, generation. Right?
Absolutely.
Mother, grandmother, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. And they ain't always innocent either. They don't trip into sin.
Say that again?
I said them young women ain't always innocent. They don't trip. No, I'm saying, because you said trip. And sometimes, like he said last week, they take the banana peel and throw it out there with the baby oil, a sheet of ice, and just walk with some dress shoes on with no grip under the bottom. Like they purposely fall.
Those are women who are looking for trouble, right?
Yeah, true.
They set themselves up, right?
True.
If you dress precariously, and loosely, you're going to attract the wrong type of man.
Absolutely.
Women should cover themselves up.
Yeah.
And
covered up don't just mean because ain't nothing showing. That's skin tight clothes.
Yes.
It can be covered. Well, Tamar went and put on a garment and wrapped herself. She was covered, but it wasn't. She ain't leave nothing by chance. You know what I'm saying? Everything was out, and it was covered at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So,
All right, let's pray out, y'all.
Right. Man, hey man, I'm so mad we ain't able to do that out. Man ain't here.
All minds clear? Father, y'all, we stand before you, Father. First of all, I give you thanks for the word that went forth, Father. Praying, Father, that word would not fall on deaf ears, Father, or not fall on a hardened heart, Father. That it would be received, Father, so that we can apply it, Father, in our lives, Father. Your word says that the effectual and fervent prayers of a righteous man availeth much, Father. Yes. We stand here asking, Father, for prayer, Father, that those who may have a hardened heart, Father, that you would soften the hearts. Those who may have been subject to justifying actions that are unbecoming, Father, that they would, see the error in their ways, Father, ask for forgiveness and repent, Father, that you would allow repentance to take place, Father, that you would allow forgiveness to go forth, Father, that you would allow the blood of your Son to cover, Father, that you would allow your people to be forgiven, Father, that you would allow restoration, Father, right now, Father, even as we speak, Father. We pray a special prayer, Father, for Uncle Timmy, Father, for Nasi, Father, for Yuri, Father, that you would allow healing to go forth, Father, from your wings, Father. Allow healing to take place, Father, even right now, Father. Father, we pray and ask, Father, that you would just give knowledge and understanding according to what must be done in order for healing to be achieved, Father, and that we know that you are able and capable of doing all things, Father. And we ask that healing would go forth, Father, right now, Father. Father, we pray for everybody in this room, Father, everybody who is watching the live stream, Father, everyone who is being edified according to this word, Father, that you would allow your word to continue to proceed forth out of the mouth of believers, Father, that it would be received also by the believing souls, Father, that can be applied, Father, for the uplifting and upbuilding of your kingdom, Father. Father, all these things we pray and we give thanks for Shemi Hawawa Bekaya Mushua Hamashiach Ruwak Kodesh, so be it. So be it. Avinu Shema Shemayim. Avinu Shema Shemayim. Ikadosh. Ikadosh. Shenka. Tabo. Bakuka. Yase. Ratzonka. Baret. Kasher. Nasha. Bashemayim. Tain Lanu. Hayom. Lekim. Ikanu. Uslak. Lanu. Eight. Ashmatenu. Kashir, Sokim, Anachnu, Lashir, Ashmu, Lanu, Wa'al, Tabinu, Lede, Masa, Ki, Kasalanu, Ni, Ara, Ki, Laka, Amam Laka, Wahi Bura, Rati Parek, Lome, Lamin, so be it. Hallelujah.
Hey, still want to talk? Let me hit the bathroom real quick. I'll be back.
Yes, sir.
Can I go outside?
No, you cannot.
Huh?
No.
Okay.